Okay. Ready when you are. Yeah.
All right, we will open the meeting at 6:19. Welcome, everybody. This is not our usual venue, so bear with us. I'll try to talk loud because it echoes in here. Signing of warrants, we're kind of in the process of that. Our next agenda item is review and approval of previous meeting minutes. Did we have
I don't have a hard copy,
don't have a hard copy?
but if you say good to go, then you can just sign them whenever you come in.
I just had one little correction that under ATV contracts, under old business, the last sentence reads, Elaine will reach out to Bill Vieaker to see if the Elliottsville Club needs a contract as well. I think we were, correct me if I'm wrong, that to be fair, the Abbott Club, if we require a contract, we should require a contract from the other club as well.
Okay, so we'll say to get a contract started.
Yeah. So if that could be reworded, that'd be great. And do we know if we've heard
No, so I got a name but they never like reached out to me, and then like everything kind of happened. They really are, and they don't have like the Abbott, like they're going after grants and all of these things, so they kind of like need our support. And they're like some of the work that they've been doing are like on our roads almost, like the trail heads. So I've been in great contact with the Abbott people, but it's like the Elliottsville doesn't have the same, like they're not as involved. So like there's not like a group of people that are like, oh, I'm busy, but you go talk to them or something, kind of like the Abbott.
And when you look on the state site, it's been a while since I looked at it, of the contacts for each club in the state, they're the only ones that doesn't have a contact on the site, so it's really hard.
Yeah.
So did you contact Roger?
What?
Did you contact Roger? What?
That wasn't the name that I got. It wasn't.
Bill was involved.
Bill was involved, but it was. I feel like his first name was John, but I could be wrong. But yeah, I was gonna mention that in my town manager report that like so much has happened since we last met, and that the ATV thing kind of like fell to the wayside, and then I was like, when I was reading old meeting minutes, I was like, oh yes, and then I had to dig through myself to find his name, but he hasn't reached out to me, and I left him a voicemail after our meeting last time. So it's been a while since I've contacted him, but it will be back on the horizon here.
And I think we can offer them the same contract.
Yeah.
Because that was pretty thorough.
Yeah. And gives us an option if things aren't going well to revisit.
It's always going to happen.
Right.
So with that correction in the minutes, then we can come back next meeting and approve that. Things that you okay. All right, moving on. Public comment. And first sign up is Evelyn Lewis.
Yes.
Hi.
So there's a parking issue down on Pleasant Street that goes against the Monson land ordinance. The way that the cars are parked on the street, the parking lot on Shaw's lawn is messy and dirty, and it looks bad for the other businesses down there. It turns the traffic down there turns into a one-lane road very commonly. Parking in the median has been a big issue. Before I left here, somebody was parked right at the end of my driveway, so you can see to go out and around them. But it's everything car-wise over there is against the Monson Town ordinance for land use. So that's something I'd like to address.
Thank you, Evelyn. And we, Elena and I talked about that last week. she brought it to my attention, I think after you talked to her. And
Yeah, so what my plan was is Kent's out of town right now, but technically this kind of falls under code. So what I was gonna do is go with Kent instead of kind of just handing it to him so that I'm still involved in the process and go with him to talk to them about it because, I mean, she's not wrong. There is a.
No, it's an ongoing concern.
Yeah, yeah, and like last week, when she brought me some pictures, there was, when they were parking in the little triangle, like you, coming from Center Street, you couldn't even see the stop sign to know, so there's, and then, like double parking on the lawn is technically a fire hazard, and so like, there's a lot of different things going on over there, but, so we'll just kind of,
do you think, I know we have a busy weekend coming up in town, and I'm just wondering, just to
No.
give them a courtesy call tomorrow?
yeah, I can, and like, I'll just fill Kent in on what's going, because this is technically falls under his jurisdiction.
Right.
But I can just fill him in on what my plan is, and then I can even go talk to them by myself, and, or just call them and talk to them on the phone and see how receptive they are. So,
It needs to be addressed.
yeah, definitely.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Anything else in that?
No, that's,
Okay. Next is Lori and Jim, and is it Payer?
Hey,
Okay. Hi, welcome.
thank you.
So they are the new owners of 21 Blanchard Road. So they're basically here to make sure that everything is kind of cleared up from past, previous owners and whatnot. And they do have a couple ideas for what they would like to do in the future, but I think that ultimately would fall under planning board for approval for that kind of stuff. But basically, they just want to make sure that like everything is good for, like, nothing is gonna come up and be like, oh, well, you didn't do this or whatever, so.
We're concerned, obviously, because we've been involved since like October, and so many different things have gone on, obviously, you people have all been involved in it. And I have a pretty good investment going on over there. And in order to protect our interests, where it is from what I understand, an accepted non-conforming building, should that be documented on my deed, that, so that there's no amnesia in the future, there's no lost paperwork? I mean, I come from big corporate kind of work, and stuff, and amnesia is a very cruel kind of use problem. And so if there's, I don't know the tools of doing it, but if it could be permanently documented in some way, that I can't, no one can come back on us, in the future. And because we didn't know if everyone's agreeing that where we are, the permit. The building as we have it is good to go. Any past things that were involved with the land cheesies and the building have been rectified. Going forward, if we obviously have any questions, we go through the town, you people, and question what's going on and make sure that we want to follow the rules, the way they, to the best of our ability, to be able to do what we do.
I appreciate that. I mean, I would certainly, if I was in your shoes, I'd want the same thing. I'm not sure the select board, it's under our purview. I need to find if we can,
Brian, do you have any knowledge?
Question of where, I didn't hear where it was.
21 Blanchard,
Blanchard,
yeah.
But that was addressed. Quite limited, which we didn't know.
Yeah.
Quite limited.
Yeah.
so Brian, once a violation has been rectified, is there documentation with the planning board or the CEO? Okay.
But the application for the permit
the application, or you go into the registry.
Yeah.
Registered in the town.
As far as any additional violations, we don't really have any way to.
Because since that last permit was
I
issued,
mean,
there's no violation.
there was previous violations, previous to the last one, with the group. That, I think the whole thing's been resolved, but you're very limited what you can do with it.
But is there a way that we can like put it in writing somehow, like on their deed or something that says that they have like a non-conforming structure that's accepted by the town as of like, and put a date or something? Like, is there a way to go about doing something like that?
Exactly, that's why, because.
No, it totally makes sense.
Like, just because normally, like, you have a non-conforming lot, it's easy, you measure the lot, the square footage, road frontage, it's easy, it's there. There's nothing, because from what I was told, we didn't get to the point that was made now. There was, well, the height was this, the height was that, the height was, nobody knew, because it was coming from all kinds of directions, and you had to throw a number, however you people came up with it is whatever. But to avoid that in the future, documenting it, possibly in the deed, nullifies everything that happened in the past, and this is a firm.
Actually, you can't document that because any violation previous to your own ownership of it, it still goes with the land, it doesn't go with the owner.
Yeah,
I
so,
think we could have it in that file that the violation that was taken to court was rectified. But as far as giving you a piece of paper that says you are free and clear of all wrongdoing, that we couldn't do because you can go ahead and do something after the fact and take that to court and be like, I've got a paper that was already done. We have no way to prove that.
Well, no, what I'm saying is documenting the present condition.
Yes.
Then if I change that in any way, you guys, everybody says, no, this is documented, it was 2611 or whatever.
Yeah.
And he did make a change, so this was documented hardcore fact, and the payers now, they took it upon themselves to change it. So there's no getting around the horn or anything, we have updated, documented.
I mean,
Just for that violation.
Just for that.
Yes, that's not a problem. That's not a problem.
could we probably touch base, the lawyer, touch base with,
that's what I was gonna say, and even contacting MMA,
right,
because
I mean, it makes
this
sense
isn't
what
a
they're trying to do.
particular, like, we're not asking them to represent us in their
No,
free
absolutely
attorneys.
not.
So this might be something
But
that
if
they're
we
willing
could-
to help us with.
If we could, go and potentially take some photographs of the buildings that are there, like I know there was a shed that was supposed to be removed, I don't know if it was. But we could document what's there without, I don't want to get into that sticky, I understand what you're trying to do, and I appreciate it.
Just so that, I know there's a lot of
Well,
towns.
it's like, we were not involved directly in the measurement. That's a planning board and an appeals board arena. But if the code enforcement officer obviously went out there after the violation was taken care of, and that's my question, can he sign off on that with you?
Right,
And that's an attorney question, I guess, M&A.
right,
There's got to be some way
of documenting this.
Well, there certainly is for that violation, but I think it's the potential for other, you don't want other things that come up as
Oh, as
well.
long as everyone knows what's there.
Right.
So that I'm not like accused of adding or subtracting or something, because there's been so much confusion or however you want to word it, and what went on, so. And I don't plan on, if I do anything, I plan on making it a better property.
Right.
If possible.
Is it acceptable for us to do some research?
Oh, absolutely.
And figure out what we can legally do, or what the town can legally do before we make a commitment to anything?
That's it, because, I mean, it doesn't matter if it's public knowledge or not, because I withheld funds from them
Sure.
during my purchase. Until I have something documented that I'm free and clear. I don't want his problem to become my problem. And this is like,
That's the
except
problem.
for,
It goes with the land.
Right.
except for a story that I got from them, it may not be the
Brian, is there an inspection that can be done by, is there anybody that's?
If we can close it in the town record, say that.
What happened, can't.
Because I heard that there might be a question on some plumbing or some electrical, but I don't know, like, I understand I totally understand what you're trying to do, so without giving that blanket immunity to the finding a path, so that they can be reassured and close out everything with the lane cheesies, because I'm sure you want that thing closed out.
Oh, absolutely. I just would like it just to be,
I'm sure he did plumbing and can. Yep. The licensed plumber doing some of it. Did you commit for it? Yes. Yeah. I don't remember it, so, but you'll remember.
I mean, I think,
Long as the plumbing was permitted, and septic was permitted, and was inspected. I don't know if it was inspected, and probably in the septic system. But if it's plumbing, you can inspect it after the fact, because it's all.
because those were the questions, and probably, hopefully it's not bad on my part, because I pretty much own it already. That the questions that I had were, were there any outgoing permits? Because the agreement that we had was that everything about the construction at this point would be closed out. And that anything moving forward would be something that we would be responsible for if in fact there were any permits.
All of the permits in the tax file have.
Yeah, so like every property has a specific file that has all the information based on that particular property, whether it's the septic, plumbing, building permit, tax card, if there was fines assessed or something, it's all in a file together.
Right, but as everybody knows, that this was not a normal situation.
Right.
Because the story I got, which may not be the story, was that all the construction that was done, and I'm just repeating what I was.
sure, we're not gonna take it.
Was that all the construction that was done, there was no permit that was necessary. That's the story that I got. That he had a conversation with Kent in his house, and there was no permits that were necessary because the square footage of the building was not going to be increased. Because my question, I had called Elena even before purchasing it, was, is there going to be anything about electrical questions, plumbing questions, any of this? Because I know they were talking about the real big deal was the height. And I don't mean sarcastically, because there's rules. I've had the shorefronts with that. We've been renting up here for like 10 years, and I've been looking at properties. I reviewed the shorefront things. I almost know it by heart. I thought it was kind of weird that this particular place, but anyway. So I had brought up, were there any questions about electrical, plumbing, or anything at all? And I was told no, that it was all just,
I mean, I don't think there's a case, I understand where you're coming from. I don't think there's a case where, you know, somebody goes looking for, you know, those violations that might be there. When you add to the height of the building, that's fairly apparent.
yeah.
You know, whether that was needed a permit or not, I think is beyond our expertise. And so I think that one was dealt with. I don't think we have any questions about the height. As far as other stuff, I mean, I don't know.
There's, after the fact, there's nothing you can do, you know, as far as any plumbing, electrical. You know, when code enforcement can't say, I want to come into your house and be like, oh, is this in the bathroom? You know, if he sees toilets and showers and stuff like that, pipes out on the front lawn, then he can come by and be like, oh, you guys are doing a remodel?
Because I guess I didn't know, because of the amount of time and effort that was going on in this, I had no, you know, if code or whoever, like you had mentioned, you go through, look at what we have, document what is there. You know, there's a toilet, there's a roughed-in toilet, a shower stall, a roughed-in for a lavatory. There's these particular rooms, whatever the case is, and it's acknowledged that is there. We know the height problem, you know, has been resolved, but that's like a walkthrough kind of thing, whether it's documenting what there is for buildings or structures on the land and locations, whatever. I guess now would be the time to be, let's just put the whole thing to rest in some way. And if
I mean, that seems completely
if
reasonable.
the town's, you know, good with just, okay, we'll document it. And definitely, you know, you from your perspective, you don't want to make any open book situation where people can go do whatever they want, and that's what protects you. People by taking a look and documenting what we have there. Now there's no guessing. Well, I don't know if that was really there. Over a simple walkthrough, a few measurements, pictures, whatever the deal is, dimensioning, however.
Because there should be a permit on file for the storage building. Because the planning board went and looked at it and approved the installation of that one with the agreement that the one on the shore was going to be removed.
Okay, that's what, and I had heard that too, so that was fine.
So that's all documented.
Yep.
It should be documented in the town office.
And I really think, I think that we can talk to
Yeah.
MMA and talk to.
Because maybe there's even like a form that other, because I mean, you guys are not the first ones and you're not going to be the last ones. So maybe there's just a simple like, oh yeah, this is what you do in instances like that. Maybe there is, we just don't know about it because this is kind of fairly new to us too. So we'll reach out to MMA, which is a Maine Municipal Association. They help us with a lot of different things. And in our town attorney, if they can't help us, to try to just figure out what our next step is and how we can meet halfway with you guys as far as getting you covered, making sure the town's covered, making sure that this all comes out together. Yeah.
There's a street house, there's an outdoor, outhouse that's there, there's what looks like was a little greenhouse thing that was there, so, I mean, there's a tent garage thing that's there, you know, it's all stuff that I didn't have any part of putting in there.
Right.
Which you guys wouldn't know if no one really documented it, what I did add, didn't add, and that's why I'm kind of like a little gun shy.
And I think all we can address are the violation, you know, that was taken care of.
And honestly, even if it's something as easy as, you know, like nothing like, nothing formal, like you guys are free and clear, whatever, just literally even just taking an overhead picture of the property and noting all the things that are currently there and just sticking it with your property card that says, this is the current state as of, and put the date.
All of the construction related to this addition has been formally closed. That takes care of the electrical, the plumbing, the roof, you know, it's kind of a blanket for what is there. You know, I don't know the real.
Sure. No, and I think the goal of the planning board, the goal of the town is compliance.
Yes.
But your property is non-compliant because the rules changed, right? At one point it was compliant, but the rules changed and now it's non-compliant. So I think we are on the same page. We'll work with you to make sure that we can move forward and you can move forward with some level of confidence.
Yes.
And we can't foresee everything.
Nothing's perfect, I
Right.
understand that, but if I have, you know, this is kind of the first time we get together with the townspeople and stuff, and I want to do the right things, and
Yeah.
obviously took time, my investment,
Absolutely.
moving forward.
Absolutely understandable. We will, Elena will, yeah.
Can we touch base in a month when we meet in August? Does that make sense? And in the meantime,
Yeah.
does that time frame work for you or just?
I guess, I don't, maybe it's not the time to be able to answer something like this, but does anyone have any feelings that there could be something adverse that comes out? I'd like to close the dealings with all insurance and stuff. But as I do that now, they gain everything and I lose all. They have.
I don't anticipate anything, but I never, like I don't,
Yep.
there's nothing active that I'm aware of. There's no outstanding, the incomplete permits. There's no active. What's that?
Nothing active, which comes.
Right. So, I mean, I wouldn't anticipate, but I can't.
I would have to defer to the code enforcement officer. You know.
And I mean, I don't, like, I've talked with you guys too, like, I don't see anything that's, you know, super
So
obvious
as
and,
far as the permit that was issued for the roof has been closed, and I know you and.
yep. As soon as we came out and measured it and confirmed that it was at the height that we asked it to go back to, then all that goes away. And so like that permit of bringing it back down to 27 kind of goes with the story. You know what I mean? So you could see because he had to, you know, he had to prove that he did that. So.
So if we go like in a month from now, we can do a little bit of homework on stuff on how we continue.
And like, if I have an answer for you before that, I can reach out to you and let you know. And then that way it's just a matter of signing at the meeting and then you guys, or of making it official or whatever it has to be when that time comes. So once I have the answer, you might not have to go the whole month. Once I have the answer, I'll certainly give you a call.
And that's kind of what I thought, because I'd gone through the planning board, then it was given to the select board, so I was, that you guys had to sign off that because you were that involved in it. So it wasn't, even if the permit was signed off as being that, I had interest in it, and I didn't know if you had any extra questions or things that would prevent me from just, okay, everything's been good, you know, we have the whole history that went through and it's been done to what we expected.
Yeah. Okay.
So that sounds, in a month, we'll do.
A month or not sooner, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have what we can do and what we can't do.
Sounds good, thank you.
Thank you,
Sure thing.
and welcome.
Yeah.
We hope it can be a smooth sailing.
Yeah, I know. Enjoyable experience. Okay. Should we move on to town manager reports?
Sure, why not? So I gave you guys budget reports. So I would have sent them sooner if life wasn't life,
Was
but
there,
what?
oh, was there a written report, are you saying?
The budget report?
Oh, the budget.
Yes.
I thought it was something else.
So this would have been year-end, totals. And I haven't gone all the way through some of them because I've glanced at everything, but I haven't like dissected every single line to make sure everything got posted to the right account and all of that stuff. But I do that every month. So like I pretty much know where there's boo-boos. But everything looks pretty good except for Public Works, which we kind of knew that, but some of that actually was coming out of the reserve anyways. So it actually didn't go over. It just looks like it did go over on the budget side of things because they had to be paid out of an expense account. And then yeah, that was pretty much the only thing. And at the end of the budget, what doesn't have? I thought it had a total, like, complete budget. But once I have time to go over the ending numbers with some of the auditors and stuff, I'll have more, like, this is how much was left over in this department, this is how much was left over in this department. But our revenue was up on quite a few of the agencies, and excise was the two biggest one, and bank interest, which I'm going to talk a little bit about in the rest of my report too, about bank interest, because last year we had 68 documented. So this would have been interest just from our savings account. That's our main account. So this doesn't document any interest that we're receiving on CDs. So this is just our like sweep account that we use for day-to-day stuff. So that's come up quite a bit using some of the different programs that Androscoggin has to offer for a way to get more interest than what we were receiving in the past. So that's pretty much that on the budget reports. And then I have quite a few little updates. So I guess I will stick to the CDs thing. So I recently just transferred one of our CDs that is a 9-month CD, and it's a general fund CD, meaning like it's not tied to anything else like cemeteries. Like most of our other CDs are perpetual care, and there's a few like recreation things that originally started as a gift to the town, and they put them in CDs years and years and years ago, and there's no documentation anywhere that says this CD is this and it's this, and you can't use it for anything other than this. So it's taking a lot of research to be like, okay, what is the C&J Durham fund, and like what can we spend that money on? Like, because there's different rules whether you can spend the principal versus the interest earned off that money. So like in cemeteries, you can only spend the interest, you can't spend the original amount. So that's
CDs are there? About
7 or 8. We have 5 at Androscoggin. And then we have a few at Bangor Savings, and then we have one at Camden National. So the general fund CD that I just redid. So we're now earning 4%, and there's $158,529 in that CD. And so we went from earning between $77 to $82 a month to earning over $500 a month.
You book that income though when the CD matures, right?
Yes, yes. And once, so I do it when they send me the statements, which they don't send them to me, but like when they mature. And a lot of them are once a year. So once a year, all the interest gets documented at a time. And it's usually when the auditor is here, because the accounts for the CDs were so messed up when I got here. It's very hard to document what is what. So the CDs are is my newest project that I'm trying to like dissect, but it's very time consuming because it's just like anything else, decades old and no documentation whatsoever. But I am trying to earn a little bit more interest on some of these CDs, because going from $77 to over $500 on one CD was huge. I mean, granted, this would be our biggest earning one because it's our largest CD. Most of the other ones are between like 10 and 20,000, or some of them are even $5,000 CDs. So they'd be earning significantly less, but still there's a huge gap there. So anyway, so that's,
So, Elaine, is there a way to find out what they were originally taken out for?
well, the thing is they weren't taken out. They were created by donations from people in the past. That's
What the original amount was that you were asking.
That and just what they were intended to be used for.
That's the research that you.
yeah, that's the research part.
I know all the rest of them except for that one, right?
Well, the thing is I've been told there's one for the needy, there's one for recreational, there's one for I think 2 of them are recreational, I think. And then one's for the needy and poor. But I don't know which ones are which ones. And who decides who the needy and poor are? Me?
Yeah.
Like,
Nobody wrote this down, yeah.
so, like, who decides? And like, is there any income, like, or is it just like, oh, you don't qualify for general assistance, but I think you're a really nice person. Let me take money out of here and help you out. Like, so I haven't touched any of that money in 3 years, because who am I to decide who? But yeah, that's part of the research, and a lot of it is going to be reading through old meeting minutes and seeing if it was discussed, because it's not talked about at town meeting, so there's no documentation there. And so it's reading old select board meeting minutes and hoping I find something, or digging through filing cabinets and finding old paper records. So it will be a slow process, but it will be a process worth it in the end. So there's that spiel, since we're still on money. There's additional money left in some of our previous bonds. In the 2019 town office improvement bond, the original amount was $100,000. We've spent $84,790 with a remaining $15,000. Road improvement bond, the original was $600,000. We paid the bond anticipation note off in the amount of $594,260. So we have roughly $5,700 left in that bond that we have to pay. Alongside of that, we also received a check from Allstate Paving today that they've been hanging on to for quite some time as a credit. So they asked if we wanted it as a credit or if we wanted it in a check. And I was like, I'll take that in a check form, thanks. So this, between the $5,700 and the $4,000, because that all-state paving was from that bond as well, so that money would have to go back into that bond. So between that, there's around 9,700 that we could use towards this year's paving projects. And then it would keep the money that we had planned to stay in the reserves. And that's why I kind of put it in the reserves to begin with, hoping that I could find money other places. I wasn't necessarily expecting a $4,000 check, but that's a nice surprise. But the thing is we are technically supposed to consult with the bond council about what this money is allowed to be spent for. I'm assuming that there's not going to be any issues because it was taken out for paving and we're using it for paving. So it's essentially the same use, so I don't see the issues. And then the same with the town office. You know, we've talked about the flooring in the fire department for quite some time now, and $15,000 isn't going to fix it probably, but it will certainly get us in better shape, I think, and allows us to at least get somebody here, have them assess the situation, and then give us our options on how to fix it. So that's kind of my plan for the leftover money in the two bonds. If you guys have different ideas, I'm open to them. I just figured, no. Okay. So I will be, in the meantime, I will be checking with the bond council to make sure that we can do those things. But if you guys are all set with that, I'm just going to contact the same engineer that drew up the plans for the fire department and be like, this is like what he knows anyways. He's seen it already, so he might even be able to just tell me. And then use the almost 10,000 for paving, if that's fine.
One thing probably to mention to them is that floor in the near future may not be housing fire trucks.
Well, he knows that because he did the building design. So like he knows that we're potentially not having trucks on that floor
So
anymore.
if there's a cheaper way,
Right.
with the trucks being gone,
Right.
that can be
Right. What?
fixed.
And him and I have kind of already had that conversation a few months ago before I knew like how we were even going to pay for him to come and look at it because we didn't have any funds set aside for that. But now between what reserves we have in the municipal building reserve and the 15,000, I think we can come up with something to but yeah, we had that conversation because it's not always going to be a fire department. So, and I don't know why you would put fire trucks on the second floor anyways, but they didn't ask me when they was building buildings.
They were much smaller back then.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so town solar update, or 997 solar. I know that I talked to you guys a little bit, but I can't remember if I talked to you guys as a group in a meeting or what.
Last you told, me at least, I'm not sure if it was in a meeting, was that Vaughn had contacted you.
Yes, so he was able to connect to the piece of equipment that he told us that we needed to replace because he couldn't connect to it. He went and tried it and he could. So, but the problem was this was the first week in June that this happened. And so he contacted Enphase, who oversees this piece of equipment or whatever, and said it would take at least a month for the data to upload to their system. At that point, they can push a software update and hopefully we will be able to monitor the production remotely. That was his response to me. So it's been a month now. So I did reach out to him and say, hey, has there been any update or whatever? But that was yesterday or Tuesday that I sent him that email. And I haven't heard back yet, but it's only been a couple of days. But once that software update happens, supposedly will be, like, everything will be the way it's supposed to be, and we can do our cash up or settle up or whatever the word is.
That's from here, and once it starts working, oh, now what about the back?
No, so that's why it's taking so long to upload, is because it's all the back information being
So in
uploaded.
theory, it still has all that data.
Supposedly, that's my understanding, is that's why it's taking so long, is because,
I mean, if it really has it, great.
And
so,
then we should be able to reconcile what we're owed.
right, right. Um,
And have you haven't talked to that company that oversees that whole,
The data,
yeah.
the end phase people, no, I haven't. Because I
Because it would be nice to get a copy directly from them versus a copy from Vaughn.
Not certain or making any.
I just like to double check this.
yeah, how do we monitor the production going forward?
He'll show us probably.
yeah,
You have an app or?
I don't have anything. It's his system, so like it's his, and like I don't even know. That is all beyond
But Tim
my.
Boucher showed me his.
Yeah, I have that on mine, right?
Yours.
But
I would assume that there would be something, it may not be an app
it
because.
also shows up on the CMP bill.
Right.
Like I looked at that hours and it shows what we produce from our solar.
But where yours is one, like, I don't fully understand this because Vaughn is telling me one thing and Glenn is telling me a separate thing. So what Vaughn is explaining to me is that the transfer station, so like the way Vaughn is explaining it is that the solar is generating something and the transfer station is using something at the same time
Right,
before it's ever metered.
right.
And then whatever is left over, it gets metered.
It should though tell you what your total production is with what you.
And
consume.
Glenn is telling me that that is the total production. But Vaughn is telling me that there's unmetered production happening. But when I go to the transfer station, there's 2 meters.
Oh,
So they are separate.
does Glenn know that?
Yes, Glenn and I went down there and he took a picture of it and
What do you
sent.
think that?
He said it was weird, but he said that it still should be, like, having 2 meters should make it so that it's more, like, more accurate.
I mean, if it doesn't meter it before, like, if it borrows power before it meters it, he can claim anything. So.
But the thing
it
is
doesn't
like,
make
if that was the
sense.
case, if that was really happening, we wouldn't get a transfer station bill.
Okay, going back to my double checking things, how about we ask a third party and 2 out of 3 wins?
Okay. But who would be that person? Like who, just like any solar person or like,
An electrical engineer.
okay.
It might be in the best interest of someone that's really active in solar to.
Just seems odd that if there's 2 meters, they both should be, giving us data on.
They certainly shouldn't be taking power before it's.
Right, right.
Well,
Should be able to see what the actual production is versus what the actual
well, see,
production is.
what he's saying is that's why we have to have this thing.
Okay, so maybe that's not that.
Right. So that's why he's saying that we can't use the CMP bills. Glenn is saying we can use the CMP bills because that is, so what my plan was to get this data that he is getting from Enphase and compare it to what the generation says on CMP and see what the difference is.
Then you could probably even talk to CMP, because CMP had to sign off on.
Yeah, they don't know any, the CMP literally does not know anything.
Even if you want their engineers, you can't get one of the linemen.
well, they're not very helpful, and they're not like, let me put an engineer on the phone so you can talk to them. I can assure you that's not how it works.
The TUC might even consider it.
Yeah, well, that's why I was like, okay, get this data from him compared to the CMP bills. If it's the same as the CMP bills, I'm gonna be like, we could have used the CMP bills. We don't need to pay for and wait for all of this happy crap that we've waited years and years and years for. We could have just used the CMP bills. So we'll have some more ground to stand on if the data kind of matches what CMP says.
It's clear at this point that it's in their best interest not to reconcile, like.
Right.
Because if they never have to pay us back, so of course they let it sort of go, and now we're asking questions, and I think that's a good thing. I think Aaron's point, like if we could find somebody, another electrical engineer that can answer some of those questions, and if it's not set up correctly, then we have to look at that.
Right.
Like if it really is set up to draw power off before it's ever metered, like that seems problematic.
Well, and what also doesn't make sense is the power that's generated, it goes to the transfer station last, according to the billing.
The idea that they can't tell you, I mean.
Because that's why what Vaughn says doesn't make sense, because its last priority listed on our CMP bill is the transfer station.
Well, it's
So
clearly in Vaughn's best
the
interest.
town office, absolutely, the town office is first priority. So it takes the town office bill first, and then goes to the gym, and then goes to the transfer station. So if the transfer station, the 2 days a week that we're open, was using it, but without being metered, then we wouldn't have a transfer station
Is there anything
bill.
down there that draws power when it's closed? I mean,
A refrigerator or a light, maybe. Oh, and internet now.
but minor thing.
But yes,
I think we meet all the numbers, but I think in the meantime, we can probably get some additional guidance. Glenn
Yeah.
might know somebody that could also.
right. All right. Well, so that's the update for now. We at least got somewhere. He at least attempted to connect to this piece of equipment that wanted to pay, what, $800 to have it fixed that wasn't broken?
What did you say when it worked?
Literally that he was able to do it. That was the only comment.
But he would have had to be taking $800.
Oh, yeah. And I doubt we would have got that back when he realized it would already work.
Because he would have had it fixed.
Right.
I'm really glad that we didn't
Me too.
purchase this.
Yeah.
I mean, it's $800.
Yeah. All right. So the next update that I have, or fill-in thing, there was a health officer issue on the North Guilford Road involving a failed septic system. It started with a complaint from a resident on North Guilford Road that their neighbor's septic was spilling into their basement. Sue Hoovler, who is the health officer, got this complaint and involved Brian in the process as LPI. And I believe Kent was also involved in this too, right?
You might have gone with
Sue the first time?
the first one.
Okay. No, okay. So basically, Brian performed a dye test, and although there was no, the dye didn't show evidence of a leak, there was other evidence showing that the septic system was failing. The occupants at 43 North Guilford Road have been informed and will be working towards replacing the system. The reports and filing of this particular case has been kind of documented and kept at the town office so that, we can show that we got a complaint, we dealt with it, this is the outcome. And now it's,
It is a thing. And I did talk to, you know, and I didn't get to kind of want to back and forth. But I did tell him I would try to get the people that they contact, try to get information on contacting for help with septic systems.
yep,
And you said you would try to do that.
yep. Yep. So,
Like I said, I think that application is always coming from the town office.
Yeah, it's gotta go through the town.
yeah. So what I was gonna do is the last one that we did was back in 2021 when I first got here. So I picked up the tail end of that, as Marty's helper, not as town manager. So like, I wasn't super involved in the process. So I'm gonna pull out that file and go through that to see what information, where I can get the stuff to give to them. So that was that. So road committee update. So we, I think met twice last month. Yeah. So, our first meeting, we kind of, went over like and finalized the plan for this summer. So, we'll have an excavator coming, the first week of August, to do like the in-town ditching and stuff. And then having, Chad be ready to start the first week of September when the excavator leaves. That way, Steve, because I didn't want to do both of them at the same time because I want Steve to be involved in both projects to have some oversight there. So to have him ready the first week of September, that way it's not the end of October and we're still digging up roads and whatnot. Hopefully we don't have to do that anyways. And at our second meeting, we started doing inventory on roads that we're not quite doing work on right yet, but inventorying every single culvert, every single ditch, where the tree trimming needs to happen, where the dead trees are on every single road. So last week, I think it was last week we went to and started at the Willimantic town line and worked our way to the Stewart Road and looked in every single culvert and documented the pavement, documented the trees, the ditching, all of that. So that's our plan, is to do literally every foot of every road so that everything is documented with the condition, what needs to happen. That way, when we put together a plan, we can pick the worst spots and kind of work like that instead of just being like, well, over here could use some work. And then, so we have something to base it off of. So we'll have another meeting, probably in a couple of weeks. We'll let Steve kind of catch up on and start the summer stuff. So sand and salt, we started that this week. So sand has been coming since last week or the week before. Salt just started coming today. So he can kind of get that all taken care of before the excavator comes and before road work starts. So that way we're not trying to put sand and salt up in September, October. Sure thing.
Are you doing the culverts in the whole town, like checking all the culverts, or only certain culverts?
Like, yeah, we're checking. Yeah, we're checking all of them.
Okay.
Yeah, we're literally with our flashlights crawling in there and being like, yep, that one's broken in the middle and everything, so that every single culvert is documented as to where it is, what condition it's in. That way we can put an actual plan together as to what road work we're gonna do each year. That way we're doing things that are a necessity.
Okay, perfect.
So that was the road committee update. Well, I finally have a new laptop as of like last week. So I'm a little bummed. It's a little bit smaller than my other one, and so it doesn't have the numbers on the side, so I'm still getting a little bit used to that. But it doesn't have a cracked screen, and I can bring it home. So that has been a huge saver. Bye. Have a good night.
Did you get some of that screensaver film?
No, I should have. And then so the August meeting, which let me bring up my calendar. So the August meeting, I will be at the Managers Institute that week. So I didn't know if we wanted to move it to,
Did we move it to the 21st?
yes, me and you talked about that, but we as in all did not. Something's happening. Oh, it's a car accident. Somebody fell asleep. That's not good.
What's that?
Somebody fell asleep
Where?
on a tractor on the Elliotsville Road.
Tractor?
That's,
Tractor trailer.
it wasn't a tractor trailer.
I'm wondering if it was a lawnmower without a mower deck on it, because I heard about somebody down there that,
I wonder if somebody fell asleep in some of the construction equipment.
There's a lawnmower on the side of the road on toward the top.
well, Nancy Kelly was telling me that somebody drives a lawnmower without a deck on it and seems to be intoxicated a lot of the time and is riding around with a cat on the
Really?
on the lawnmower the other day. So maybe it was that tractor.
Okay, so,
I don't want to see it.
well, it was a tractor and said, it seems to be a whole thing, so we'll just leave it at that. So anyways, the Managers Institute. So I will be technically working that week, but I will not be here. I will be at the Managers Institute of the, yeah, I think so. Is the ending of the week ending in like 16? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So I will be here in the office that Tuesday, but I will be at the Managers Institute the 13th through the 16th.
Okay.
So the 21st of August would be,
Sure, okay. And for some reason, I had next Tuesday as like board meeting, but.
next Tuesday?
Yeah.
We'll keep it on your thing because we're not done yet.
Okay.
Okay, so August 21st. Okay, so actually, I'll talk about that when I talk about the factor. Which, did I put that? No, okay. And then a new thing that I added into my update that I haven't before was just that I did one new driveway culvert permit and 5 new 911 addresses. So I just felt like it's just such a minor piece of my job, but it takes up like such a large part of what I do sometimes that it might be good to keep track of like how many culvert permits we get every year and like that kind of stuff, so that because a lot of the time like we have to maintain those culverts too. So but as road commissioner, I get to go inspect their culverts and tell them what I think about things.
Where was the culvert?
On the Elliotsville Road, all the way by the North Pond Road. The North Pond. What?
On the North Pond Road?
No, past it. Like just past it on the left-hand side.
No house.
No, there's no house. But they're putting in a driveway, and when you put in the driveway, yeah. No, there's nothing. Where they're putting in the culvert right now is the old North Pond Road. So there's already a cutting there. It's grown up over the years and filled in, and it's been ditched since the last time it was a driveway. So they have to put in culvert.
That must be right by the town hall.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of culverts on Ellie's Road, I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, that's okay.
Hopefully it's a quick, the big culvert near my driveway that has the posted
Mhm.
weight limit sign.
Yeah,
Like,
I know. So I was told when I talked to Mike, the county manager. So he told me that even though we were denied before for the stream crossing or whatever, to just apply again. Because especially where it wasn't me that applied the first time, that,
Sometimes the word can make a big difference.
yeah.
and there were people out there, was it last year, measuring the road, who looked like DOT people.
Yeah, they come in and inspect it every other year.
Yeah.
So every other year we'll get a new
I just want
report.
them to put a guardrail on the other side, because I am so worried that in the winter, I'm gonna slip down right into that stream.
I mean, that would be a fairly inexpensive, in the meantime kind of thing.
I don't know how expensive. The
Well-
guardrails are pretty.
Well, I
pricey.
mean, you don't necessarily, like, even if we just put something there.
Dead tree.
Or like, Milo's favorite thing is they build guardrails out of like 2x4s and they take stickers off trains that are like reflective and stick them all over it and then drive the 2x4s into the ground.
Do they just steal the stickers off the train?
Probably. No, but that's what they do. And I mean, it definitely makes you not go close to the edge of the road. You're like, oh, there it is.
Well, on both sides,
Right.
right? Because, I worry about somebody in the wintertime.
Not knowing where the edge of the road is.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, we could do something simple like that to just in the meantime so that people, I've honestly thought about the same thing down by Turning Page.
Yes, I was just.
And I mean, it's ridiculous to have these posts or whatever, but like in a snowstorm, if you just have a marker that this is the edge of the road, and honestly, it would kind of help the plow trucks too, because then they're gonna be the ones actually in there.
Is that that grant, is it a trout habitat?
It's a salmon one.
Salmon. So if you need a nice picture, I can have my son go fish.
Yeah.
Use it to show that it's,
Yeah.
we can even catch a salmon somewhere.
Yeah, there you go.
My son is caught stuff.
There was
Yeah,
a,
I'm sure.
we did that, tried to go that route one time a while back, and, the town would have had to have contributed quite a sum of money, and, I don't know, it was kind of, the whole idea was scoffed at and set aside, and we moved on.
But yeah, my plan was to just reapply for that stream crossing grant that DOT or whoever, I think it's through DOT.
But when you do your inventory of roads, and I agree that Northfield for 20.
Yeah, those two spots are definitely where I worry about somebody getting too close to the edge. Because if you do, there's no forgiveness.
They've been working on the Blanchard Road, DOT has. They're not doing beach stuff, do you know?
No, they're down on, have they done anything on your road yet?
No, but this morning, they've been working their way towards town, and I would say that,
They were patching the pavement this afternoon.
oh, okay, because they've been doing a lot of ditching, and they sort of started further away, and they were,
Right, I was hopeful because they started at the other end that they might do something.
So-
We don't, because they didn't put any paint down by the beach.
Yeah,
True.
well,
well, I
that's just,
have paint, it means nothing, we had paint last year, and then it all washed away, we had new paint this year.
I do have some white paint, we can just go down there, Mark, they'll be like, oh, yes, I guess we're doing this one.
There you go, do that, but it's orange, they're using orange, so.
I got orange still.
That's a good idea, really. Just make the same kind of marks they do, and they'll be like, oh yeah, right here. I mean, once they pull up, they'll be like, yeah, this one's bad. So, but the last I heard about that was actually from the guy that came with Matt Drost. So he called me shortly after that meeting and said that they are well aware of that and that they are putting it on their to-do list.
Right.
That's-
But we threatened to sick EPA on them, so.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you're already on that road, why would you not do
I
it?
know, right?
When are you going to come back to the Blanchard Road in Monson?
Maybe if I just spray paint on the road, please fix me every day to drive by that, and they're gonna see that and be like, yeah, how about we move this
You
up?
should do that. That would actually be.
You know what? Why don't we take a field trip right now and go do that? Because that's a brilliant idea. All right. So yes. So that's that. I can't even remember what started that conversation.
I'm so sorry, it was Elliot's.
Oh, yes. Okay. Yes. So that definitely has not fallen off my radar because between that one and the one on North Guilford Road, those two have to be addressed.
But you were talking about culvert permits.
Yes. Okay. So I pretty much summed that up. So now we're up to. Okay. So we kind of talked about the parking at Shaw's and kind of like that was one of the things that I was going to address, but she came, so that kind of eliminated me having to talk about it.
My wife, really, when we first moved back, she had talked to someone about taking over the triangle for the beautification committee, and she wanted to see if I could get John Tacko to bring up a big piece of slate to put, because it hasn't been as big a problem in the last couple of summers, but they were using that as overflow parking. And when they do that, it makes it impossible.
Well, yesterday there was a bus parked in the road for 45 minutes. In the road, like literally, like at the stop sign directly in the road. So like you couldn't have come from Pleasant Street to turn onto Center Street because there was a bus there.
And last week, the whole week, you just had to hit the gas and pray when you were turning off Center Street onto Pleasant Street to come towards town because you could not see traffic until you were crossing Pleasant Street to get on your
So
side.
definitely something that needs to be addressed.
Well, because they double parked, so
Yeah.
they had two cars, and if they put a big car at the back,
Right.
closest to the road, it makes it a blind turn. And I mean, I've come close, but been lucky so far. And my truck isn't small; it's not jacked up, but it's not.
Believe me, when I go down there in my car, I can't see.
Are the owners aware?
Yes.
I actually went down and talked to them a couple of years ago, and they said that at the time, they said that they had told people not to park in the triangle. And so I guess they have a driveway, but they let people, or they put up like little tents, yurt tents or something like that. And at the time, Kim was getting really tired of the whole tent situation. So she was like, well, we're thinking on shutting that down anyways, and then we'll have our driveway back. But apparently they.
Do we have no parking signs? Could we put a no parking sign in that triangle? Like, because there is.
If we don't have one, I can order
I
one.
don't believe, like if there was room there, but if somebody parks there, it becomes a one-lane road.
Right, and that's their biggest complaint is that not only is it a safety concern, but like it's a safety concern just driving out of their driveway.
Yeah.
And
Last week, there was a day when, I don't know what was going on, but there were 3 or 4 cars in front of, I think it's Rodney Frost, in front of her house. And then all of Shaw's parking, and you almost couldn't get down the street.
Yeah.
It definitely is something that, I mean, because now we have, I think is Frost House, is that an Airbnb upstairs or something? Like,
I
it
don't
seems like they
know.
have visitors,
Right.
and then you have Leaping Lena's, and they have plenty of parking. And then you have Shaw's, and so it's all of those businesses, and then you have the ice cream shop. And I know that there were people from Shaw's parking at the general store in their parking last week.
Right.
And when we had called,
Which-
it was not met with grace. So.
Yeah. So another thing is we're going to talk about the parking at the general store. So the first parking spot as you come off of Pleasant Street is a safety hazard, 100%.
And it's painted yellow there.
And it is,
But
nobody pays attention. And so I don't know if we put cones there. Like, I don't know how to address
They
this.
tried cones, they
Like-
tried.
You gotta actually paint the road surface, not just the curb. Paint that road surface as a fire lane.
And that's DOT.
And my brother's the one, I believe, that
So-
painted the curb, because he was hopeful that that might actually.
Because what's happening is people are not just parking in the parking spot in front, but they're parking behind that parking spot all the way out to in front of Pleasant Street.
The other side too, on Jenny's side, that people are parking right up to the Pleasant Street intersection. And so that makes it also really dangerous. If you're coming out of Pleasant, you can't see to the left, the traffic coming from the green.
So I wonder if since they're redoing this road, if they would paint something over
That's
there,
what I was.
and if they would even paint something in the meantime, because they're not paving till next year. They're doing all of
Right.
the culverts and stuff like that.
So do we know what the rule is if it's a state road as far as it's in town?
I mean, there are-
Parking.
There are places that you go where you see no parking here in the corner signs, like.
Yeah.
And, I mean, we could go that route too.
I honestly think it has to happen because like what I'm witnessing and what I'm getting for complaints from people is, and like it happened to me personally the other day. So when you're coming, there's somebody parked literally right here. So you come to the end of Pleasant Street and then you can't leave. You have to go around so now you're on this side of the road. And then to get around them with a trailer, you're now on that side of the road too. So like,
I mean, even if that's another intersection that becomes, there are times when it's, you just step on the gas and hope.
Yeah.
It's coming, because you
We
can't
have
see.
some big mirrors, like the kinds that you put on poles,
there's some down there.
but
You can't see.
You
the-
can't see.
there's some mirrors there already.
Daniel got
Daniel
those,
got-
but there's one over on the other side of the street, but you really can't.
Never noticed. them, so I can't really
Nobody
remember.
looks at them, right?
No, because number one, they're in terrible spots. They're not, but like you still can't see. Like you the another issue is if you're on this side of the road, stopped at the stop sign, the person coming from this way to turn on Pleasant Street doesn't know you're sitting here.
Exactly.
Right.
So when they go to turn, you're right there. So like,
There are times when I started going over by the post office.
Yeah.
yep,
Well, you're gonna have to address that road too. Yeah, the same thing.
right.
People are parking all along, especially the trailers.
So,
We need a parking lot. Brian?
Jimmy is whose car's that? I'm like,
Oh, he would love it. He would love
Yeah,
nothing
so,
more.
I mean, I think, I've heard that it cannot be a productive conversation with the hostel.
yeah.
The hostel can be hostile.
You can't be to get involved.
Yeah. But I also don't want to lose my control either. So,
Wise.
right. So,
Because some understanding does have to be given to the fact that a lot of the people that are parked on the road are there for a short period of time.
yes and no. What's considered a short period of time? 8 hours is not a short period of
No,
time.
you know,
And I have personally experienced that being the case for like 8 hours at a time. And I mean, even parking in the roadway, literally, not even pulled to the side, but literally in the roadway for 45 minutes is not acceptable.
Is there anything we could problem for them, like parking down by the ball field or something as overflow for Shaw's, like so that they have.
But how do we do it for one business and not every?
I mean, I was only thinking Shaw's because they already have the main,
Right.
the shuttle people.
Right.
But, I mean, you could like, I suppose, but
But the thing is they're charging people to park illegally. So,
That throws a whole new,
right.
didn't
So
know
like
that.
they're charging people to park in the median.
I did not know that. But she told me that they use that really for just people to like unload their cars or whatever, and then
No, absolutely.
and they only park there once.
Literally
But
that-
that's not what I hear.
No. And like, the school bus was literally in the road, like not even pulled to the side. It was in the center of, you know, like the road comes like this, the Y. It was parked right in the middle right here.
There. And when they started that, it was supposed to have mandatory parking. They didn't have, so. I was the CEO at the time. What are you gonna do, tell them they can't have their business?
right.
I would have been run out of town on the radio. And, the same with, the pub. When the guy started that, he still had the laundry. When he started that takeout business in there. He didn't have ample parking. He did smoking. Smokey built the parking and filled it up with everything else but cars.
Yeah.
And I
No,
said,
and-
"Come again on the other side."
I am acknowledging the fact that they are a business that brings a lot of people to Monson. I totally agree there. And I think that, you know, with all the businesses in town to that aspect, but when you're creating a safety concern,
That's just the difference.
that's when it's okay. Because like before, when I went over, because I got this complaint last summer, but when I went over there was just people like parked on the lawn, but like there was still a good, I don't know, foot between the road and the back of these cars. So yes, they were parking in the right of way, but it was out of the road. So at that point I was like, okay, I'm not about to make a big deal about this. But when it's in the roadway, that's when it's like, and when it's interfering with other people's businesses,
Yeah. And if there's a solution, like the tents can be moved from the driveway.
well, that's just it, is put the tents on the lawn and the cars not on the lawn in the driveway. So anyways, those are the two parking things that I'm gonna address with Kent. Okay, so we did parking, 21 Blanchard, dry hydrants. So the fire department wants to fix or replace the dry hydrant at the boat landing because it's broken off in the ground right now. And the other dry hydrant that's over beside Lakeshore, that is the one that freezes all the time and they have a hard time getting access to it, period, because there's always people parked in front of it and whatever, and it's not deep enough and all of these things. The one at the boat landing was until it got broke somehow, whether a plow or something. In order to fix it, Chuck got the quotes to have it replaced with a steel one instead of plastic one or something. Would have been $6,500 to have it replaced. And then kind of extending the parking area a little bit so that it's all the way past, so like adding slate to all the way past the dry hydrant so that there's more room closest to the water, I guess, to back up right there so that when people are parked by the boat launch, like they don't have to do anything like with the trees or anything right there. It's just adding essentially more gravel over.
Is the hydrant,
I don't believe you do that. That was part of it.
Oh, we have to get a permit to do this anyways.
is the hydrant to the left or the right of the dock? I'm trying to.
It's to the right.
So that's what I thought.
Yes.
So pushing, you're talking about pushing that grassy area back.
Yes, so this direction. So not closer to the water this way,
Oh, okay.
just this direction. So that when you,
There's a thought behind that.
right, so you can only do it like a little bit more, but there's what used to be a curb there.
Right.
And so they just want to dig out that curb a little bit. There's no longer really a curb there. You just can barely tell where the curb was and just move it over like a foot.
I have a really stupid question.
Sure.
Don't laugh at me, please. What's a dry hydrant?
It's a pipe.
You, don't laugh at me.
No, I wasn't.
It's a pipe that goes in the lake that is pressurized, so they can hook their truck up
And
to
suck.
it and suck water.
I was wondering how you did that. I'm
No.
sorry, see, I
No.
learn something new every day.
There's no stupid question.
Right.
Thank you, I'm sorry.
So, no, that's okay. So that essentially, aside from the hydrant that was leaking on Water Street a couple of weeks ago, those are really their two sources of water. So Aaron and
Did
I,
you still use the one by the boat landing? Because they did pump training there last night.
I don't know.
Which one?
Or did they run a hose into the lake? They did pump training by the boat landing once,
They could have run a hose into
or Tuesday night, so, but it could have been a hose.
because
Well, it works sometimes, sometimes it doesn't.
Okay. I mean, it seems to me that they need a working.
they need access to water 100%. But in the mix of this, Aaron and I were talking about a different solution, but we haven't explored all of the opportunities there, like potentially like a dry hydrant, like in the old pump house that's on Water Street, because it's a building we already own and it's just sitting there not doing anything anyway. So we could, and like it wouldn't freeze there. And people wouldn't be parking there because it's not a boat launch. So, and it's
I mean,
literally,
that's the biggest inconvenience. I don't know that it's ever been an issue. I know there's been issues with people parked in front of the driveway.
Right.
But you can see the potential when it's got boats, trucks and trailers.
right.
And you could actually put a sign up saying, no parking, every vehicle will be towed.
There is a sign. Nobody listens to it.
They'll be start towing people.
Jimmy can police that too.
Yeah, I was gonna say, who's gonna police that?
Put the sheriff's department right on speed
Or
dial.
we just
and
let
have
the fire
to get it.
department do what they're legally allowed to do. Drive a boat range from one windshield, right up along it, right behind it.
I mean, that's.
So, and then, the no parking sign was taken down in front of the dry hydrant that's over by the Lake Shore House. So
Who took that? I mean, business owners?
I'll let you guess.
Okay.
I'm assuming that's what happened.
That should go back up.
It is going back up,
Okay.
and
Was it found or are we getting a new one?
we got a new one.
I'm sure you have to get a new one because it's probably in the bottom of the lake.
Right.
Do they just say no parking, or do they say,
There's no parking anytime.
put another sign on that says, the vehicle will be towed at owner's
Owner's
expense?
expense, yeah.
Okay.
Or the windows will be smashed out. We'll feed the hose through the. Yeah.
I wonder if people know why there's no parking there. It just, is it obvious? It's a hydrant,
Yeah.
right? I mean.
Also, it doesn't matter. Follow directions.
I
If
know.
you can't park here, you can't park here. It
But
could
makes
be
sense.
reserved for the president. Just don't park there.
I think it
but
makes
people
sense to
don't
have an
read.
alternative, and that makes sense to put, it's a long way to go to the water. You're talking about the bottom.
No, like the one,
Oh, that's smart, yeah.
And potentially, depending on cost, you could actually make it pressurized water.
right,
Which would be 100% better,
right.
because they can go truck up faster.
Which I have the numbers that you asked me for, so I don't know. I'll send them to you. But I do have them.
That makes,
So that's the,
would that be in addition to keeping the one at the lake?
I don't know, at the boat
Like the
launch.
boat launch?
Well, that is a conversation to have because because there's never going to be such thing as too much water access.
Right.
So do we just fix the one at the boat landing for $6,500 and then explore the options for the pressurized water at the pump house? Or do we wait on, because like these people that want to fix or replace the one at the boat landing are just waiting for like what we want to do. So like he has the excavator lined up, he has all the things.
Will that be on last year's budget if we did it? Or would it be next? Like,
It would be this year's budget,
Do we have a breakdown of the quote?
like written down.
Do
Quote,
we have an actual quote from the people, or just what Chuck said?
well, he has an actual quote. I don't have the actual quote. But yes, I would do that. But I just wanted to make sure like what direction we wanted to go in first, because some of it, like the excavator and stuff, is just Chuck and Phil work for Herrick's and they get to take the excavator for the weekend and do the, so like some of it is being just donated by the guys doing the work. So, but I
is there
will,
a process, is it already existing, so we don't need a permit to tap the lake essentially?
we'll still need a permit to do anything over there.
DEP permit? Have they done that?
Well, I would have to do that, but will do that if we decide which, yeah, yeah.
Is that a process? Like,
It's a
what are we
2-week
talking-
process.
2 weeks?
Yeah.
Okay.
It sounds logical to pursue fixing that one.
Yeah.
And I'd be interested in pressurized.
Okay,
Yeah, I think exploring that one, I think having the non-pressurized, non-power, like hookup and even fill a truck makes sense as a backup.
Right.
If they then explore the pump house.
okay.
And the pump house can potentially have both,
Right.
because there's 2 pipes coming in.
Do you think, would you do the pump house instead of the landing?
That's pretty much where I was getting at, like,
I like the pump house idea better because that's a controlled environment versus out on the lake or in the
Lake
lake.
parking, people park there, but not generally not.
No, and the hookups could come right out the side, so it would just be a matter of driving down the road right in front of it.
No, I mean, could could you, before a decision got made, could you explore like putting in a dry hydrant to start and then there?
yeah,
Because that would be ideal.
that's kind of what I was, like, once Aaron and I started talking about it, like, it makes more sense to me to do that than to spend the $6,500 to do the one at the boat landing that could potentially, like, have still some of the same issues. Maybe it won't freeze now, maybe it won't get broken now because it's steel, but the problems like parking still exist.
I mean,
Coming
open up-
off of that road is a hazard all on its own.
It would open up more space there too, which is.
And it's a building we already own.
And it will potentially maybe get them to reconsider using the hydrants down, that one hydrant down on Water Street that was leaking before because they can't shut it off. That hydrant is hooked to an old cement asbestos pipe that runs down Moosehead that should not even be in service. So there's a potential with them using that hydrant, that pipe collapses and Lake Hebron goes from there to Water Street. And there's no shut off.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Okay.
then the sign would become real where that's short from
It would be.
place across the road. I mean, that makes perfect.
So, okay, so Aaron, if that's the case, would you like to assist me on trying to figure out the cost for putting a dry hydrant?
I will, I've already talked to them.
Okay.
Is there already Is there power to that?
No.
Shed?
There was power, we had it disconnected.
Is there, right. Is there,
I don't think we need three-phase.
No, from my calculations, just 220, I can get a big enough pump to supply them with what they need. I'm guessing I shouldn't even know.
Basically,
Okay.
all along.
I'll tell you right now.
No, there's 2 pipes that go right in the canal, right into that building.
Okay.
Because right now, there's 2 pipes, and then there's the old pump.
So you'd be talking about tapping into that
Yeah.
existing, that seems like.
We're gonna- there's 2 pipes that go in there, 2 sections of pipes. Then there's another one that is, goes right down around the wall. That's why they still have put the pressure on those ones in, on Water Street. Because that, it wasn't for that east one out around. But that's some of the best too.
That's the one that is asbestos, yeah. Because
That goes all around,
yeah. It's cast iron
going into the building.
into the canal, but it ties into that one that's down on Water Street that's been there for whenever we said put that in.
1940s somewhere.
And like, when that one was leaking, what, the shut off on the hydrant doesn't work, so they just threw the valve on the outside of it. Well, it froze in the way they cracked the valve and it just started leaking more and more. And in order to change that valve, you've got to try to flow the water going down that pipe, but if you took a board and you completely blocked off that pipe, in the canal, that whole pipe would flow. And they just mess with it like it's nothing.
Yeah, let's move away from that. And let's move towards.
Okay, so. Okay, so we're exploring options for dry hydrant and pressurized.
And did you ever happen to look up, see if that building does cruise along the line?
I did not hear a word you said. Did I look up what?
If that pump house belongs to mine?
Hey Brian, does
The
that,
the electric bill always came to town.
to the town? So, does the town or MUD own that building? I think the town too,
Okay, so it stays the town.
yeah. I'm pretty sure that we pay the insurance on it too. The town does.
One light bulb.
All right, so that is the rest of the dry hydrant. So now I'm going to talk to you about factor. And this is going to be a lot of information that doesn't make sense. So I'm going to try to explain it. I went over this very thoroughly with the assessor today, and I re-explained it back to him in the way that I understood it like 200 times. And I'm like, you don't understand. I'm going to have to explain this to somebody else, so I actually have to know what I'm talking about. Okay, so I guess I'll just start with the assessors are not recommending that we do a factor this year. And the reasons why they don't is because it would actually cause it to be a bigger increase than if we didn't factor. And so say, so for starters, so what the homestead exemption is based off of is the certified ratio. Okay, so the certified ratio is what we commit to the state at. So they give us a proposed certified ratio every year. And you can adjust 10% from that certified ratio up or down, whatever you need to do. So this year, and as long as you're at 70%, you are legal. So this year, our certified ratio is 71%, and they can adjust it up to 78%. They're thinking that it will fall around 78%, which would, so if we don't factor, okay, and we leave, say there's a 10% increase in the budget, okay? It would be a 10% increase across the board to everybody. But the homesteaders would lose roughly around $1,500 off their homestead exemption. So theirs would go up very minimal for the $1,500 of worth of assessment if we kept it the same way.
Say that one again,
So,
just that last sentence.
if we kept it the same way that it is, they would be paying the 10% increase on the budget plus a little bit more from the $1,500 that they have to pay extra off their assessment. So it wouldn't be $1,500 per person. It would be $1,500 worth of assessment value times our mill rate, which would be what the increase was. So let me,
It's late at night.
Can you just give us a number? How much are my taxes gonna be? That's all
I can't do that, but
You need to dumb this down more.
this is literally as dumb as it gets, okay?
I
Literally.
mean, can we just say that if they're advising not to do a factor, let's not do a factor?
But, so, okay, so let me get through the whole thing, okay? So we had the, our certified ratio last year was 84%, okay? So in order for us to get to, if we factored, we would go to 85%, which is only 1% more than what we certified at last year. So the homestead exemption would only go up 1%. So it doesn't make sense to factor just to get the homestead exemption up to where it needs to be. You see what I'm saying? Because people, while they would be getting an increase in their homestead exemption, which would be a $2,000 in their exemption, but their assessed value is going to go up 15 to 20%. So it cancels out whatever increase the homestead exemption has. And where the market is so versatile right now, they don't recommend factoring past 85, 90% anyways, because if you go up to 100% and the market changes, say next year, then you would have to adjust those assessments back down. And you don't want to do that.
I was gonna say, is that ever done?
Right.
Market that goes down.
No, it doesn't. But if you adjust too high and something does happen, because the state is 2 years behind what we're assessing things at, they're 18 months behind us. So they're assessing sales at 2023 right now. So that's what they base. What?
How come they're saying our valuation is more if they're behind us?
Because their sales records are still significantly higher than what we're assessing things at, and they base it off sales.
They base it on.
So that's why you have the 10% adjustment, because they're 2 years behind you. So you can adjust that 10% up or down if necessary to reflect what's going on in real time.
Okay.
Believe
All
me.
my wisdom, I recommend.
So next year, the recommendation would be, so when you think of doing a factor, yes, our mill rate would come down and our homestead exemption would go up, But at a time where our budget it already went up, it would be an increase of the 10% of the budget plus an increase of 15 to 20% of the assessed value. So they would be feeling it twice as much in 1 year. So if we can keep the budget somewhat maintainable next year and do a factor, it won't be all at one time. And we're within the legal limits this year to certify at 78% this year, so.
So that would help the people with homestead exemption.
Right, because if we did a factor, they would be paying more than what some of the other people, the people without homestead exemption would. So, in a roundabout
Trust me,
way.
he knows what he's talking about.
It took me a very long time to understand, and I kept saying, but why? That doesn't make sense. And then he threw in the fact that the assessed value is going up so much, that cancels out the 1% that they would gain on the homestead exemption. So the homestead exemption would only go up 1% because last year we certified at 84%. And this year, even if we factored, we could only factor up to 85%, which is only a 1%
I
change.
mean, clearly we were considering it from the, how out of whack
Right.
the school budget is and all of that, but with a deeper understanding, I can comfortably say,
Right.
Most people,
Okay, you can fill me in.
no,
most people have homestead.
Most people do.
some people that don't homestead. Don't
It's-
homestead. Have homestead.
It's the people that don't live here that don't have them. So, yeah. So that's basically it in a nutshell as to why I'm recommending that we don't do a factor this year. And our mill rate is probably going to be scary, but they would be paying less in the long run doing it this way than if we upped our homestead exemption.
I would recommend that you rehearse that so that when people come in and ask, you can do that, their brains will shut off. and
Their eyes
they'll
will
just
be
pay
crossed.
attention.
Yeah, well, I told the assessor that today. I'm like, you don't understand. I'm gonna have this conversation with 100 people, and I need to know what I'm talking about so that even if I am bullshitting them, I know what I'm talking about.
Because last year, Sue Boy came to see me at work to ask me why your taxes went up in the homestead exemption came down. And I said, you should go talk to the town office. So get ready.
Oh, I'm ready. I'm ready. So that I think was the last bit of my town manager report. So we can move on from me now.
Okay.
It's just been a while since we met, and I really felt like, wow, I haven't done anything in a few months, but I really swear I have.
Okay.
I had a couple of things.
So we're in select board.
Okay.
Just to kind of put this back out there, it doesn't even back out there, on getting the CEO files in the office.
Yes. Well, so he really hasn't done anything that I don't have.
Do you have
Sure.
all his letters and correspondences?
Well, I mean, like since we had that conversation. So, yes, I do have a copy of the letters. They're just,
All
I'm pretty sure.
of them? All the emails?
No, that I don't know. But
Well, and apparently he's losing emails. Number 2 on his list. Sorry, George.
No,
No, I mean, I'm not sure what 2 issues he's referring to, but lost 2 issues I was working on as they disappeared from my email. Like, that's the kind of crap that can't
happen.
happen, period.
So
Right.
there's an electronic copy and a paper copy.
Like, he should be printing out all those emails immediately upon receipt, not just working off his phone. I mean, like, this gives me nightmares. We've had so many issues in the last year.
Mm-hmm.
Ask a question. This day and age now is getting way worse. People every town has many ranches.
Right.
And I have myself have spoke to the CBO about a couple of places that I think are in violation. They're still there, it's been 2 years on one of them. And never a report or anything on it. Now, I know in other towns, they go in, if they've got a complaint, they go in and give it to the town manager or the administrative assistant. They will give it, the selectman will tell them, will give it to the code officer. And then check it out and give us a full written.
Similar to what happened with the septic system, right?
Well, the report you gave me on 19 Center Street was extensive versus the verbal I sent, I knocked on 19 Center Street, nobody answered or whatever we got that month. Like, Brian had a folder this
Yeah.
big.
Because one place that I mentioned to him is the transvestite farm. I mean, that's horrible. That's close to the road.
Of course it is.
And they've got those buildings, they're almost in the road.
And
And then
the pigs are rooted against the septic system.
I mean, I'm glad they put something in writing that takes.
Well, I like your idea, Brian, that, the complaint goes to town office and then you bring it to us and we direct the CEO to follow up so that we have record.
Right, and that's kind of similar to how the septic system worked. I mean, Sue wrote up that she got a complaint, she wrote up what she was doing about it, and then, because this took a little while, then when she completed what she was doing, she gave me another report that said, this is what I did about the action, this is now closed.
Like, I'm just looking, and I know we skipped ahead. Like, this was your.
We took over there.
I know, we skipped ahead the CEO first, but, while we're on it, let's just do it. So, like the last section is, telling us that we need, as a select board, to, set a fine. Yeah, for this, one,
It's the second, it's that.
it's this one, right, and, for the lighting issue,
The
but
first page.
I don't have any documentation that I feel comfortable pursuing a violation or a fine out of it.
Right. We've heard anecdotally, we've heard stories about his dealings with
Right.
Robinsons, but we don't have anything in writing.
Right.
We could base anything on.
When the code enforcement officer can't reach a solution with the violation, then they're supposed to draw a whole lot out
Right.
and send it over to the selectmen for enforcement action. And such as with the Dangerous building. Let us tell them, you got to tear that down, comes from the selectmen, because it's an enforcement.
Right.
Yeah.
But I know I had to, I had to write the letter telling them that they're in violation, and I'm gonna turn it over to it. And I tell them I did turn it over to it. And this isn't the only place I've done it.
Right.
But you present that documentation to the select board.
Right. I tell them I tried to get this guy to clean up his junk. He isn't cleaning it up. And we turn it over to you. They send him a letter 30 days, all will start finding.
But we need that documentation, like what he's done so far.
Right.
In writing, just not verbally.
Right.
Like I was talking to you, Elena, when I said,
Everything has to be right.
this style of report like you did on the first page, but with all of the notes
Yeah.
attached.
Right. So what I had planned on doing was taking underneath where the permit section is, taking the address per issue and then having like a box per issue and having each note so that the issues are separate from the permits, but still on the same report. But I didn't have time to do that part. Plus, I didn't have enough information to work with
Right.
to make it what I want.
Sorry,
yeah.
you were.
Yeah, back to Aaron. That horse is dead.
Okay, from CEO, fire department's inventory and capital plan.
I know that they are still actively working on it because a couple weeks ago now, probably, they were going through like helmets and the turnout gear to mark like when things were purchased and stuff. So they are working on it. I don't know when that's going to be done, but
Maybe a little, like a little fire, because we're going over a year.
I know.
We need to budget for some stuff.
Yeah. And we need to know like what we have before we buy new stuff.
Right.
I like that sentence.
And the other thing with the fire department, the sign. Why is that still sitting there?
What sign?
This is the Blackford sign?
I don't know. But that made me think of a different sign that I was supposed to talk about too. So
And also, when the sign is gone, a plaque. in the
yes,
fire department.
I did tell them that. So I don't know why the sign's still there. They were supposed to give it to the family. Maybe the family didn't come pick it up yet or
We
what.
could probably even talk to Wendy about making a little slate or something that, it's probably the easiest way to get along.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a question. Labor to remove damaged speaker and replace the department's 5 speakers, this is the chief's truck.
Yeah. So it was a radio kind of, I think. Right? That's what it says, a radio.
Damaged speaker. But it's
Okay.
on the assistant chief's truck.
So it was a piece of equipment we already owned, so we just paid for the labor. It was, I'm pretty sure it was a radio, was hooked.
Why are we paying to work on other people's trucks? Whether it's department owned or not.
Like, I
Who is
don't,
the assistant chief?
Terry,
Oh,
And
Terry.
Right, that's good.
I thought it's what I thought.
So is this something that was in his truck that needs to be repaired?
And I do have another question on that too, because this truck was parked in the fire department the other day, and the customer was there yesterday.
Yeah, there was a light that was broken on the new truck. That was,
Terry's truck,
Terry's truck was in there?
parked in the fire.
Oh, I thought you said Katie Custom's truck was parked.
It was still.
Okay, well, as far as I know, he talked to me about the radio in Terry's truck, and he was talking to me about, like, the department already owns it or whatever, and to have it put in his truck, and I was like, okay, because he was explaining, Terry's truck is on scene a lot, as assistant chief, and all of this stuff. So it makes sense for him to have a radio. And the other day at a car accident, there, like, you couldn't talk to anybody over there. So that was their solution to that. I don't know much about the radios, so I felt that he was giving me faithful, truthful information that they needed that particular piece, and where they already own the equipment, I didn't see that it was.
Brakes and lights on the new truck?
What?
Brakes and lights on the new truck?
Brakes and lights?
Brakes
Oh. Yeah. Well, I don't know if they broke them, but they got broken. Like, new lights had to go on the new truck.
How did they broke it? They didn't break it.
Well, I don't know how it got broken, but it got broken. It is broken. That much I know.
Okay, I'm done. I have a couple of things, but don't have to talk about another time. I was thinking tonight when pairs were sitting here, could we hire Isaac to, when he's out on his boat, fly around and take pictures of the shore frontage of the entire lake, like every place that he can. Like, we've gotten into so many of these situations where somebody does something we don't know about it. Like, but if we had a picture that was, I was thinking when we were talking about taking an aerial photo of their kid, could you legally with a drone do that for every kid?
That might open you up.
That's what I'm wondering.
I don't know, because you can, for tax assessing purposes, which is essentially the same thing, we go and take pictures of people's houses for that reason.
But
So,
you're physically on their property and you.
Or
know
can
you're
you
on
physically
their
go on their property?
or we can physically go on their property and take
I was
pictures.
more thinking that with an aerial photo, you could then take each
Right.
property and sort of overlay the map.
Right.
These
Might
are
be
all the
asking
buildings
for
that
your
are
drone to get shot.
probably, of course you will. I mean, all of those things.
I mean, there's no, like, I don't think that.
Maybe
we
it's
can.
not worthwhile, but it was just a thought I had when we were talking about it, because they were like, yeah, come, please.
Right. I think that a lot of, I mean, all the people that are doing what they're supposed to would be like, sure, come take pictures.
Right, those aren't the people that are the problem.
Right.
So just a thought, not a big deal.
But for tax assessing purposes, like, we do go there and take pictures of the whole property and all the buildings on the property. So I don't see why we couldn't do that too.
If it was, somebody was out there sunbathing or something and you don't know people are taking pictures,
Yeah.
that just might be.
No, absolutely, no, I can see.
But if we went to every house and just was
Then they
like,
know you're there.
right,
Right,
that's what I'm saying. Like,
Kind
we
of
could,
less sneaky.
yeah.
or we can send them all a letter and say, this is what we're planning on doing on this date.
Don't be out in sunbathing.
Right.
But I would check that out with MMA or the assessor and see if that's.
Yeah.
I know that, the only other thing I have is I know that the North Guilford Road gets a lot of attention for the speed. I've heard again, there's, one is my brother, and you can take that for what it's worth. But I've also heard from another resident on Pleasant Street about how fast cars are coming over that hill. They wanted to know why they don't get a speed bump. That wasn't my brother.
Where is that?
On Pleasant Street.
Oh,
They
on
come
Pleasant,
from,
oh,
like, they
gotcha.
come from outer Pleasant Street.
Yeah.
And they come flying over that hill, and then down Pleasant Street. I am not advocating in any way that we become the speed bump capital of Maine. But we do have two on the North Guilford Road. One of the questions I got was, why can't we take one from the North Guilford Road? There was some hope that this year, maybe only one would go back in on the North Guilford Road, and we might try one somewhere else. Maybe we can think about that for next spring, like
Yeah.
putting one centrally located on the North Guilford Road. We could give it to Glenn. Boy, he deserves one.
Right.
And then we could potentially move the other one. We could also just say, squeaky wheel gets the grease. I mean,
There's also other cheaper alternatives to try too, that we could explore those options. So,
I don't
I
think
mean,
it's
maybe
a-
it will be worthwhile to just take the other one from North Guilford Road and put it over there. I don't know the science behind having 2 speed bumps. I do know that we're not the only town that does the 2 speed bump thing.
Well, one's to slow them down before going through the neighborhood, the other one's to slow them down before they go flying out on Route 15.
Yeah, because the other one wasn't there, so when they went over that first one
Yeah.
on North Guilford Road, they just went up.
Which they do, right?
There, and I was reading somewhere, like DOT was explaining, speed humps rather than speed bumps. Which is sort of like the idea of those raised crosswalks.
Right.
Speed hump that would be permanent, that snowplows could get over.
Right.
I didn't know if that's, yeah, in the future option.
Right.
Which would actually be better, because then you don't have to pick them up, put
Right.
them down, you can have one wherever you want.
I wonder how much one of those would really be like on the North Guilford Road. Like when we're talking about like repaving and stuff like that. I wonder how unrealistic it would be to have those over there. And then,
it's the engineering of it so that a snowplow can go over
right,
catching, right?
Yeah.
Right.
That's the big consideration.
I'm sure DOT has consultants.
Oh, I'm sure,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, they must. All right, so that's.
this first one.
And then the only other thing that I had a question about is the cell tower. Have we heard anything? I saw something in the permitting or something.
People called for the permit.
Okay,
Like
so
last week
as
sometime.
far as, I've had several people asking. me.
So the permit has been issued, so it does look like they're moving forward with the progress.
Perfect.
So that's super exciting.
Yeah, we just, my niece and our boyfriend are here staying on the lake and they got Starlink because they're taking courses this summer at work, but they were hopeful that if we had better cell phones, they might not pay for Starlink because their phones would connect. No, I like it that way. They do not. They're 20, I'm 50.
That's the difference right there.
I don't know, I like the fact that I can't get internet or have cell phone service at my house or any of that stuff, so.
So, cool, awesome, thanks for the update. That's all I have.
All right, I got a few things. Sorry, that's my take.
That's okay.
Well, first, and this is not a criticism in any way, because I know, when you say that, preface it, right? It's like this. But been wicked busy since I can't remember when.
Literally since I got here.
Just trying to do catch up and stuff. But historically, we used to get documentation for the meeting, like
Yeah.
earlier in the week. And
Yeah.
if we could get back to that.
Yeah.
And again, I apologize because I know you've had a lot on your plate.
Right, and not being in the office particularly, so the last time I was in the office this week was last Thursday. So not being in the office, I don't have I can't access Trio and all of that stuff, so I wasn't able to get like the budget stuff done, but that's okay. Duly noted, duly noted.
I know, it's just, I don't want to lose sight of that.
No,
you know,
definitely not.
maybe
And-
a goal for the fall, maybe.
Right,
Right, sorry. Shut
But,
myself off. Yeah, I know.
um,
Okay, so I'm not gonna beat that one anymore. Just
Okay.
let me throw that out there.
that
It's just,
was the result.
I meant it, hopeful, just to reset us.
that's right.
Because summer, we're in summer brain mode. I get it.
And so many irons in the fire.
Exactly. All right, so hopefully these are more quick things. 19 Center Street, is there anything like we?
It's on old business, so.
Oh, we haven't even gotten there yet. Okay.
No, we have.
Yeah.
Well, it did sign.
And you're doing, okay. Fire department mentioned last meeting about tire chains, we had this discussion.
Right. But I don't remember where.
We left it as we wanted more information.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Okay, so I don't have any more information
Back
other
on the
than
list.
they want them, basically, and that, other fire departments do run them, and these particular tire chains like are the automatic ones that you don't have to.
Maybe revisit that when we did the inventory?
Yeah, there you go.
Do you know which fire department's running?
I know Brownville has one on one of their trucks. I don't know about Milo. But Sebec was talking about putting them on their new to them truck that they just purchased.
I think when I say we, I mean you should talk with some of the departments that have had them and their experience with them.
Well, from Sebec's experience, because they're the first fire department that I just ran into. So their experience before, because their truck that they got rid of had them. So that's why they want to put them on the new truck, because they liked them and they liked having them. So that's the only feedback that I've gotten so far. That fire chief is also the fire chief of Milo, so I'm assuming that's the same feedback I'd get from there.
Probably.
But I can certainly reach out to.
Again, a couple different opinions.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't make sense for me to go ask him. Well, what do you think about the Milo trucks then? If you think the Civic trucks,
Does Dover have it? Greenville have it?
I don't know.
All right. So, revisit that. We mentioned the gym siding is, someone's gonna.
Jeffrey has ordered it.
Oh, good. And is this something he's willing for that?
Yeah, I'll probably have to hound him a little bit more. Long as come on the door.
That's good work, right there.
Yeah. 90 degrees, yeah.
I'm sure he's not looking to come to the gym when he's got
New house to start, two new houses to start.
field, I'm sure.
Yeah, I push my luck into them.
Just to shut
We
him
will,
up.
we will thank him with this. And snowplow contract, will be.
Oh my goodness. So that was supposed to be my last part of my update,
Okay.
but I didn't write it down, so therefore it exited my brain. But I do have the snowplow contract, and I added the verbiage that we wanted to add, and then I just added an example to the end of that penalty to say, like, for example, and well, I'll just read it to you. For example, 2 calls have been made to the contractor previously this season about the delay of getting out to plow during a storm. But when called, the contractor has gone out within a reasonable time. The 3rd call in the season would result in a $500 penalty, regardless if the contractor has gone out in a reasonable time. So that is giving an example to further, because we struggled so hard with that verbiage, getting it very so that it's black and white. So I figured including an example would help that. So yeah, I kept the date of April 24th on the contract because you technically accepted it in April, but date it that you signed it in July.
We need a motion to,
You already technically accepted it, so you really just need to sign it.
okay, all right.
I guess you're gonna make me get up.
Yeah, I
Got a question on the CMP bill. The communication tower costs us $225 a month for electricity.
No, now that's either the one that, because there was 1 month that, like, even the transfer station was $200. And did we ever find out why?
No, but every bill that month was
Ridiculous.
ridiculous.
So it's either that one or, I'm gonna say it must be that one, because even if it was one that,
The
like,
gym was 83, 82, and then the communication tower was 225, but it spiked for these 3 months.
okay, so there was a balance forward on this one. So it's actually half of that for the monthly, you know what I'm saying?
So it's still $136 to run that?
It's
Is
still
there
what?
more? 'Cause that does seem,
I mean, it wouldn't be like with that one, but like maybe in a different folder.
But like, why is, like, when they show you the previous month's usage, how everything's like barely above, and then all of a sudden we're just going,
Is that just the communication tower that's like that?
says,
Right, but that's like one thing.
you know,
What month is that for?
The due date was
6/25,
6/25, so it must have been.
10/5.
So May?
I don't remember, I feel like it was before May, that those bills were.
It was, because remember, there was a heater up there,
A what?
a heater.
Oh, at the communication tower?
Yeah, but it wouldn't have been running in May.
But it shows a spike in February, March, April.
So
May.
February and March would have made sense because there was a heater running up there. But
Was the heater to keep it thawed out?
the heater was to keep the generator from getting too cold and not start.
You think they maybe would have left it on?
What?
Is the county paying for that? That was what Chuck said, was the county gonna pay for everything up there?
But they didn't pay for the heater because they were trying to figure out what they were gonna do about the generator, whether they were gonna switch to a different kind of generator or, so like the heater was a temporary fix.
That the county.
I mean, I don't know how well that's gonna go over, but I mean, we can if you feel that's necessary, but
Well, that one was 225, and I'm guessing the other ones were probably gonna get.
So it's like 136 per month, that was.
but before it was like $88.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking that was, I'm just wondering, do you think they left the heater on? Like, even though it may not have been necessary? I don't know.
I mean, I'm not saying it's not a possibility, but I did have a conversation about the heater with Chuck when that first high month came. So like,
Have they come up with a solution for that? Because that doesn't seem like the solution long term.
no, having an electric heater up there, no, I don't think so either.
That's about,
Fire.
right. Well,
Was this the county's decision to do the heater until they could figure out?
I don't think so. I think the fire department took it upon themselves to find a solution in the meantime, because without it, they have no communication. So I mean, to some extent, it is our responsibility to make sure that we have communication. But at the same time, like the county did say that they would pay for everything for the generator. But I don't know if that results in our electricity bill because we had to put a heater in there.
no, I know, and of course, we don't have any information on this. The cell tower that was talked at the top of the tower is going to be for EMA.
Right.
So are we going to be able to eliminate that one? And
That is
this
the
whole
plan, yes.
Generator conversation unnecessary?
Right.
Okay.
But the generator could still be potentially needed at the, because from what my understanding was, I don't fully understand, but when I was talking to Vertex Towers, they said sometimes it's set up that each person that subscribes to the tower or whatever has to provide their own backup power.
It seems like a poor generator choice because like the generator out here doesn't have to have an electric heater. The generator at my parents' house.
But the problem is getting anything up the hill to the generator. So that's why, and originally, I don't know who decided all of these things because it was supposed to be a solar generator. But then they realized that wasn't gonna work. And so they just keep going through these.
To get up the hill, as far as I know, mud still has a right of way through the, ours. When my mother was with.
Right.
Yeah.
Hardly.
I don't know. Who
They
it
had
is.
a right of way through that for years, and that's a easier,
Wait.
the other one's impossible.
Yeah.
Steve done it once, I don't know how he done it. coming down out of there.
I will have a conversation with the county about the generator and a conversation with Chuck about what the plan is for the generator in the tower for the upcoming winter.
Because it can't be heated with electric.
Right.
That's,
You have to, you look it up in that deed, I'm pretty sure it's written in that deed, and we never got away with it.
you can
So,
see the
because
roads.
I grew up there, we used to
Yeah.
keep stuff out of the way so they could get up. They never went up much in the window. Right now, he's gonna pretty well fuck it all.
Yeah.
And they put 3 rocks across it, up to the top. where
Right.
Steve can move in.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, so I will get more information about that.
Let me look at my list here. We, last meeting, we kind of discussed, or maybe Aaron brought it up, having, if we could have no signs that say no ATV access, like on Pleasant Street and I forget where else,
Blanchard Road,
Blanchard.
Pleasant Street, one coming off Indian Point.
Yeah. I know it gets down to the matter of enforcement, but if we had signs, it sure would be helpful for visitors who don't know that they can't go certain ways. And my other question with that is, the clubs usually supply that signage, I thought.
I think
So-
that other guy you can say.
Yeah,
Because they get it from DOT.
yeah.
So,
So I don't know if we can get them directly, or if the club can do that and take care of putting that signage up for us.
Was the club also going to develop a new map?
I was just gonna
Okay.
say that. And I don't want to take Sandra's wind away, because she emailed me a bunch of stuff she couldn't stay for the meeting for. Well, I'll just include it here. So the ATVs aren't adhering to the new traffic pattern, she said. They're going down North Guilford instead of coming up from Willimantic Road into town and going, whatever that is, clockwise.
they're kind of going both directions, honestly.
Yeah. And I wonder if some of that is the Elliottsville folks that are coming into town, if they're not, I don't know, but there's no signage,
Right.
right?
And like, if you don't know,
I mean, there's no signs from.
I haven't noticed, Sandra said.
Oh, on the Elliottsville?
Well, no, for
The new
new
traffic
traffic
pattern.
pattern.
Oh, yeah, there's signs.
Is there signs?
for 4-wheelers.
Yeah, when you come off the railroad bed right down by Brian, it says do not enter. Going that way, and then up at the intersection, there's a bunch of signs.
So they're trying to
Okay, so there's
accommodate.
signs there, they're just not following them. And I know that, yeah, and I know that the
I think
Abbott,
you're being generous.
the Abbott Explorers on their Facebook page are very good. They posted that there was a change.
Right.
Right.
And that was one thing too, to see if they'd be willing to put a little post on their website, Facebook page, saying, you know, ATVs are only allowed on marked routes. If you fail to follow this, they will all be shut down.
That's our only alternative, and I was just gonna say, when it gets to, enforcement, we have none. The only enforcement we have is to have the select board say, we're shutting this route down.
Is there, I was also thinking the other day, there were like, I don't know, probably 20 conservatively at Robinson's. I don't believe there's anything to indicate from Robinson's. I could be wrong, I haven't noticed. They had like, if you're exiting town, you're supposed to go to Water Street and down that way. Like, I wonder if Robinson's would work and allow us to put up an ATV guide either out by their sign or maybe since they've been so helpful with the lights, I don't know if that's.
That would probably be a valid call, and I bet you wouldn't have a problem with it.
Right, and then maybe Abbott could work on this.
Yeah.
We got to go ahead to figure out a location, just have something that's noticeable enough that people can see the route map.
So, yeah. Jade and I talked with Larry a few weeks ago about coming up with a new simplified map that just shows the route.
Yeah.
And just even having that posted there.
Even at the little mangrove where you turn off, like having it even there.
Right.
It shows this is how you go into Monson and get out of Monson.
Right.
It's not a free for
But you're right, a simplified map, that people aren't gonna go, oh, that's too complicated, I'm just
Right.
gonna go anywhere you want.
Right. Because it's when they get confused and there's too much.
And they don't always check Facebook page or
Right.
the website,
Right.
so we need on the road signage.
Right.
Yeah. But if we could ask them for getting us some no ATV signs for those roads where they're not allowed,
Okay.
and we'll see if that helps at all, but people have,
That's pretty much
yeah, other towns are struggling with this.
No, I think everyone is.
Yeah.
I was just in Costa Rica and they started moving there.
Oh, my word.
We rented we could go drive anywhere. They don't have rules, so like, traffic backs up. I saw there was a big accident up in the county where an ATV and a truck collided, and then but the side by side, they don't have to carry insurance, so the guy had to be life flighted.
I don't understand why they don't have to have insurance on the road, like
That's
that makes
weird.
no sense.
So, right.
Why they, that's weird. Keep it on your own property or have insurance, period. I don't understand.
So these other items or things Sandra brought up, have we got any bids on the old fire truck?
No, and Chuck and I talked a little bit a couple of weeks ago about like really trying to push getting it out because we can't just hang on to it.
Where is it advertised and how much?
It's not, and
Not
I thought we
advertised.
had an agreement to bring them out.
well, yes, but there's no like price set on it,
Set a price, $8.
literally.
Put it on
So
Marketplace.
Brindley is the only one that's trying to sell it right now.
Right, we were originally gonna post it on MMA too, and I have yet to get pictures or specs or any of that.
MMA, Facebook Marketplace.
Literally.
I see them all the
Town
time.
yard sale.
Right.
There's
There you go.
There's the town buy and sell.
Hey, you
one.
might sell it if you advertise that, you might have, you might be on something. I think that's good.
Yeah.
But since that's town equipment, that's town money.
No, well, it's the road that goes from south, sits in the field.
Somebody might want it just because it's
It's
cool.
all wonderful.
There are people that buy just old beat up fire trucks and they just have to salvage them.
Oh, I know, my grandfather just bought a 1920s one from Brownville because he didn't have one.
Does he want another one?
I'm not
we have-
mentioning it
I
because
think
eventually
different-
I'm gonna have to deal with all this stuff that he brings on.
All right, so you look into that one.
Yes.
as well. All right, and, what was that?
It's the ghost telling us it's time to go.
That is weird. Sandra just wanted to, bring up again the no-through trucks on North Guilford Road.
I mean, the trucks all know it.
She said no through truck sign on each end of North Guilford Road. There's one on our end, but the sign in Guilford, or I think it's Habit actually, disappeared not long after it was put up. Going through correct process to make this happen, so it can be enforced and to happen. She's thinking when construction on 15 starts, more traffic will be using the shortcut over Guilford. I think it's gonna be cars as well as trucks. that
Oh,
are
yeah,
doing
yeah.
that. But, I know there's a process that wasn't followed before, somebody told me, when we put that sign up.
See, I don't
I
know.
think DOT may have.
Right, so I'm gonna call Tim, he's the regional
Yeah.
person. I'm gonna call him anyways because there's a couple of the other questions that kind of fall under his area of specialty. Same with the DOT signs for the no access signs for ATVs. He might be the person to talk to too.
That's true.
So I'm gonna call him and figure out what it is because he's also the person that said that we don't have any set speed limits in town either.
That we-
We don't have any set speed limits in town,
Oh,
technically.
right.
So
Yeah.
eventually we'll have to do that too.
Okay.
But it has something to do with a certain ordinance to be
Yeah.
able to enforce that.
But who in the world enforces that?
What? Enforces what?
Once in a when there was a sign up there.
Yeah, Arvo.
But it's just per chance.
A few years ago, he
I
did.
mean, it's just a sign, you hope people, I think you hope people adhere to it. They all know, I mean, the guys that come to the mill all know, like, they can't use that as their, I don't know.
Okay.
And what is the actual limit to be considered no through traffic?
Right.
You know that?
Certainly
I got
not, it's certainly not.
I think it's 26,000 pounds.
26,000?
I think.
So a sign that actually says no trucks over would be helpful, right?
I would think.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's what it is because that's like where we classify trucks, like big trucks.
Trucks going errands.
Is anything over 26,000 pounds?
Oh,
I don't know, like how much to, well, how much, like,
Right.
for example, all of these truck, like, I don't know.
If you're hauling from Bates Road,
15, is it 26? Because I don't have no idea.
Monson,
Or does it take a tractor trailer truck to make 26? That doesn't know.
or like if you would.
I think it's a loaded up trucks.
Well, yeah, because
I think that no
I don't know.
through trucks.
It's like a regular car.
Generally for
Right.
like
Good
small
plan.
residential areas.
Okay, so a UPS truck is
And
16
that
to
residential
22.
area just in.
So they're almost pushing it.
Thrown,
Because
but when fully loaded.
I've never.
But it's
even
not,
noticed,
so the truck
you know,
itself
like log trucks.
would be way
Unless they're
less.
hauling,
Unless they're hauling.
from like, down by you or something.
At the time, we were 15.
Yeah.
Roads better.
The only ones that used to do that was like Jerry Thomas. You get down that way, because it's dry.
The big thing I think right now is, GPS takes you that way, and you see, I met two big trucks with giant toy hauler trailers behind them that are, I mean, probably over 50. And they're not gonna get bigger, they're still gonna come that way, so that's what I meant, so big trucks aren't gonna go.
I wish Sandra was here to tell us what she's seeing on
Yeah.
there. Yeah,
I mean, if they're local traffic, they get to, right?
Yeah.
It's open to it.
right,
It's a hard thing to police.
it is,
It's impossible.
again.
It's sort of like an enforcement.
There's dump trucks hauling.
The last thing that Sandra wanted me to share, and I know we're going to be talking about the DOT grant, she's just concerned with the speeding of traffic in town, and and she witnessed an almost accident, I guess, as people coming around Tenny Hill and in front of the quarry here in Lake Shore, and I saw it too.
No, absolutely.
We need DOT to help us here. So anyway, with that, I know we've been talking about that. So, town committee reports, oh, I'm going to that. So for beautification, there's 2 picnic tables that were purchased. One is to replace the old one that was down in the boat launch. We put that together yesterday.
Oh, you did.
It's really nice. And the other is behind the Historical Society. These are metal picnic tables. The one I know behind the Historical Society is ADA,
The one over by the phone.
and that is too. We purchased, and my husband helped me, well, he did most of the work, I just stood and watched and passed tools up to him. Put banners on the black light poles. We didn't put them on the sidewalk side because there wasn't clearance enough. The pole, all but one pole isn't tall enough, and the banners are 3 feet tall. The pole up to where the light is 8 feet. So the bottom of the banner would have been 5 feet, and people would have walked into it, right, on the sidewalk. So we put it on the street side. We kind of measured from the curb, they're 18 inches wide. And most cars don't have a problem parking under them. However, apparently, there was a camper that the tall pole in front near the post office, the camper ran into it over the weekend, I believe. It's today or Monday. I forget when we put it up. Anyway, Sandra, I think, witnessed it, and the guy felt really bad. However, it's too bad we didn't get his license and name so that he could pay for repair, because we have to replace the brackets. So John went out this afternoon, and the top bracket is broken, or the pole is broken. So there's zip ties through the banner, and there's a pin that goes through the pole into the bracket that's on the pole. So the top pole is broken. He took that down, shaved it off, and switched the poles. The one on the bottom is on the top, but the bottom bracket is also busted. I don't know how this guy did this. He had to really have put some force.
Well, it was probably in front of the camper and he just drove off.
I don't know, but we can order a whole new set of brackets with poles just to have them. They're about, I think, $25 on Amazon for the set. But we can replace that broken one. It looks okay right now, from what John did this afternoon, but it'd be good to have an extra set.
Yeah.
I hope we're not gonna have any more problems with,
Right.
the guy must have been right on the curb. I don't understand why he did it.
Especially if they're only 18 inches wide to begin with.
I know, because I looked at cars when we were putting them up, in front of the general store and elsewhere, and cars are easily parking under, and there's no issue getting out on the sidewalk side,
People with campers and motorhomes don't realize they're pulling a camper or driving a motorhome.
You would think though, pulling over to the sidewalk, you see that, yeah.
Because they took out Robert's, the big gas price sign, and no water on it. I think it was last year.
All right, I thought the wind was gonna take these out, but I was wrong. So anyway, we will address that. Sculptures were delivered, installed. I know they're gonna have like an opening in August sometime. The collaborative will be in that. So this is collaborative new sentence. And Sandra says the sculptures will be for the next 2 years. Okay, and then I had a question from somebody wondering if, for town events, if they could post a flyer brochure in the changing shed at the public beach. Like, we have kid events. Okay, it was my son.
Okay.
So like for a kids fossil hunt.
Yeah.
We could post like in that shed,
Glad you clarified.
Yes.
But it should be for anybody, right?
Yeah.
It's not just,
I mean, I don't see any issue with it.
as long as they get taken down.
Motion made, because I'll make a motion.
Public properties,
And he's not like
Inappropriate
advertising
stuff, yeah.
a,
But we should be able to.
a brothel down there. I'm pretty sure that's not what he's advertising, so I think it was.
Just take it down when it's done.
Right.
I'm done.
You're done? That's it? That's all she wrote? I only have 2 pages of notes over here.
That made me think, I happen to be involved in moving the new, or the donating train into the museum, that came from the guy that drove it here from Washington State. It's a representation of, Monson. It's pretty cool. It might be, I'm sure that the Historical Society is gonna do something, but it might be nice if at some point, sent a letter from the town thanking, it has to be, I don't know what he has invested in that, but my brother-in-law, he was a training buff, said it's multiple thousands, probably more than 10, and then
How big is this?
it's gigantic. I mean, it goes around the whole,
like all these tables, maybe bigger.
he had it here during the bicentennial, but it's won awards. It's really cool, and I just can't do it. Everything just popped back in my head, but
No, that's a good point.
so even though we're not addressing that at the moment,
Yeah.
that's
No,
how my brain works.
yeah, that's okay. We'll put it in the minutes so don't forget it.
I do like that idea.
I mean, it's a huge donation. It's not like he was gonna donate it. I mean, it's a very limited audience because it's Monson, it's the narrow gauge that it was here in Monson, and, but I think an acknowledgement from the town that we value that.
Yeah.
and It's,
You want to write that down?
sure.
If you don't want to, I can, and I can sit with Glenn and get like.
I mean, maybe there's something like a grand opening or something with the Historical Society.
Okay. Well, I'll ask Glenn about it
But
before.
I think on top of, I'm sure they're thanking him, but it would be nice. Yeah.
So I'll get the details from Glenn and then I'll draft the letter for us.
Okay.
And I would recommend for everybody to check it out. It is.
Where is it?
It must be.
It's in the basement.
Oh, it's in the basement.
So you can also check out the jail cell where we can all end up. Via like meeting halls.
Like taking too long?
Yeah. Like taking two.
And if you go look at it, and somebody that used to live around there and down there, you'll get their whole childhood.
I recommend it. Yeah.
All right. Can we consider that we covered the CEO reports?
Yeah.
Okay. Old business, all right, 19th Center Street bids.
Okay, here you go.
You get 3?
4. We just open these and stuff. Mm-hmm.
While you guys do that, I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
So that is- You want us to read what we.
Sure.
Oh.
She went around for a minute, we're good to go.
Oh, should
She
we?
went to the bathroom. I don't know if she need to wait for mine.
Yeah,
She'll probably be out in a second.
we talk about how much he wants.
Okay, so, Thompson Son Enterprises, Bruce Thomas. Bid is $18,500 from demolition and removal of the house on 19 Center Street. Included in this price is filling in the cellar hole with gravel, topping with loam, grading, and seeding down.
This one is from B&W Excavation. Bid proposal is $28,200. Demolition and cleanup of a house at 19 Center Street, Monson, Maine. All materials will be removed and placed in dumpsters and sent to Juniper Ridge landfill for proper disposal. Site will be cleaned and capped. I assume that's with clean material, I assume that's.
Gravel.
Yeah. All work will be performed in ordinance, with demolition agreement.
I had a bid from Arvo, demo on Center Street, so just demo house and clean 10 yards, fully insured, 29.7. So, and then Chad Davis, the details, house demolition, backfill and erosion control devices, bid price $19,500.
What was the first one?
18.5. Was that Bruce or Justin?
Bruce,
Really? Okay.
I don't know if that will involve Justin,
18,000.
but
And then who is the second one?
That one is, Lakewood.
And his is 28,
who's the last one that was on Water Street?
Michael.
Mike Wood, the B&W.
This one. Any thoughts?
I'm just trying to figure what the big price difference is.
I know.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Either somebody's marking it up really high or somebody's gonna lose out.
So only one mentioned they were insured.
Oh, they would all be insured.
They all are.
They all are, yeah.
Yeah, well, Chad is anyways because he's.
And I can tell you that, well, this price from B&W, that's roughly about the same as the one that was down on
That's
Water
why
Street.
I asked.
And I do know that, since, there was a little bit of a holdup for some reason for the one on Water Street. And so in the meantime, it went from when he submitted the bid to when he started it, like the trash removal and everything went up much higher than it had been, and I don't think it's come back down. The demo dumpsters and stuff, that's a lot of money. So I'm gonna say that's probably a lot of weight in demo in a house.
I'm a little, yeah,
Yeah,
like the fact that they detail what they're gonna do with it.
Yeah.
And they had a little lost in their packaging.
I mean, I know Arvo will put stuff in the dumpster.
I don't know about.
I don't know about some of the other ones, if it would go in dumpster or just in a dump truck and haul it somewhere.
no, well, I know that, B&W before had dumpsters.
Well, they outlined exactly.
Oh, yeah,
that
okay,
They would send it to Juniper.
sure. Oh, right, yeah. Gotcha.
I would be concerned, I would want all of that, so the disposal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a great job too on Water Street, very neat, clean, left.
No, I mean, I've seen Mike's building tear down, and Arvo's building tear down. When they're done, they're done.
Yeah.
What was ours?
Arvo's is 29,700. I'm a little leery of the two that are sold for $10,000 one.
Yeah, yeah.
when I see the bills from the transfer station, and I would be leery of those as well.
I'm guessing it wouldn't go to,
I mean, and maybe they would do everything the proper way and then just not make any money on it. But,
Yeah, because this one doesn't really specify.
no, and I know that he's done several other places.
he has,
You could probably ask John. That seems, I don't know.
I appreciate the detail of things. I don't know if you got to see it.
No, I like it when they did on Water Street. They cleaned it all up. I don't want to overpay, but I also.
so what does the bid package actually read?
Well, the only one who actually came down and asked for one was Mike Wood. And what I did was, I didn't have, like the big package per se, but I had a copy of the previous contract that we had with him. So I just gave that to him and I said it's the same thing that will be, because it was all laid out, pages of it, several pages, the contract. And so he just took that, but no one else asked.
Let me,
I mean, on the other hand, Chad is employed by us for a lot of stuff.
Right.
So we do have some leverage as far as, no doubt it's there now, but if the site's not clean, like they go back and fix that.
You could do that with anybody though, really.
Yeah, you don't have,
I think the
Spread
stipulations
the love, that's what I say.
are more in the contract, and if we pick somebody that doesn't want to do it to the way our specs are, we go to the next one. So really, like, they work for us, and we tell them what we want, and if they're not willing to do it, then we go to the next person.
So the cost of this actually goes back to the property owner.
Right.
Which will likely go to liens and.
Water Street has, right?
Yes.
They've never paid. Still.
No, neither has Mitchell Street.
Right.
Mitchell Street, I believe, is already in
So
foreclosure.
the bottom line is we're looking at a town-owned property in the future.
Is this something that can be simple? Like, can we reach out to the two that are lower and find out what they're planning to do with the materials that they remove?
I don't know.
Ask that.
I don't know. I think that I would probably stay away from that. I don't know, but I would feel weird.
I gotta say, because I think that's why, like, it's a.
Sealed
this is
bid.
a sealed
This is
bid and at this meeting and. Because then you start to, hey, you know, the possibility to say, hey, you put more money in my pocket and I'll go vote for it.
I'm in agreement with Sue for various reasons.
I just like the detail that is in there.
No.
And the handwriting is beautiful.
I have no preference in this, so I'm 100% whatever you guys. I just want the building down. Whoever's gonna do it is my best friend, so.
I think I would be leaning towards. I like what you said about Chad, but I also,
Yeah.
we have a history with them and the level of detail is, I mean,
I'm just looking at the neighbors.
Mm-hmm,
We want it done right
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
and safely.
Yep.
And this one,
Don't you love when decisions come down to you? Doesn't it feel good?
I'm still stuck on my idea of Chad. He said, because that's $10,000 less. And I would pretty much guarantee he's not gonna do a half-ass job.
Do we have a timeline when this has to be accomplished?
No.
Is that something?
Because the only thing Chad asked me about was how much a demo permit was and if we wanted the whole backfill. And I said yes. So
Wasn't that written up in the bid package?
he never got a
Nobody
bid.
asked it.
Nobody asked for
Except
that.
except for mine.
So he just texted me and asked me questions. Is all he did.
Okay, I think from now on, when somebody, say we bid something, and they bring you a sealed bid, they must sign the bid package. That they've actually read it and understand it.
Mhm.
And granted, it's up to them to do it, but just having that signature on there could potentially help the town in this situation.
Someone saying, oh, I didn't know, we wanted that.
Yeah,
But the thing is like, if he did, like, before he even starts, he's gonna have to sign a contract
Exactly.
that lists everything that needs to be done. So at that point, if he's like, oh, that's more than what I bargained for, then we can be like, okay, well then back to the drawing board. And,
We have to rebid it then.
well,
I don't know if we do.
I don't think you have to. You could just go
Go to the next one, yeah.
to the next one.
Because the contract is very clear about filling it in, making sure it's all nice and neat, and graded, and, you know. And that may be why that one is so detailed, because he's been there, done that, and he knows what's expected.
I just am concerned about how quickly this can get done. I don't want it dragged on till next year.
What's our legal framework, like we're covered, right, at this point, if they wanted to start, if we award a bid and they wanted to start next week?
I
Or
would
do they
say,
have, do we
because,
have to notify him again? Because he already had his window to.
oh yeah, remove stuff and everything.
And the only thing is, he came into the office last week and he was never notified and blah, 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 and
Which
all
he
of this.
was.
But he was, so like, at some point, he is gonna be like, I was.
Chaining himself to back in the building.
Well, maybe, because he did insist that this is not right, you can't do this is my home, all kinds of stuff. So,
so what the plan should be is have the dumpster and the excavator show up the exact same morning.
that
And
it's
just
all.
flat. Because otherwise, this could turn into a major situation.
Probably-
He barricades himself in the house, or. But, that being said, a walkthrough of that house needs to happen before things just get ripped down, just to make sure.
I think you have to do that anyway.
I ain't going there. No way.
I don't want to pay more than we have to. I'm leaning towards this one only because, like, we have a history and they outline exactly what they're going to do. There's no question to my mind. I'm not going to die on that hill, but
I know, I feel the same way, and I just. Nothing against Chad, I just get back to it. I would like it done before the end of the summer.
Oh, I'm gonna say that it would be done probably by the middle of August, I mean,
And I didn't know how busy Chad is, he couldn't do that by us. But I also like the detail, when you know what this one's going to be. But contract, I understand that too.
Like I said, I have no preference. I have no skin in this game. Whatever you guys come up with, I will gladly follow through with.
Do you?
Is this where you go?
I mean, that's where I'm leaning, but 2v3, 2v1.
I know, I love consensus, but it's hard.
I mean, I hate to spend money we don't have to spend.
I know. It's just such an incredible different amount. I mean, I would go with this one if we could have an assurance that they can get done.
Well, if he can't, then we say we need it done by this time, and if he can't do it, then we say, okay, we'll find somebody else.
And with all the details of the contract clear.
So you can accept the bid providing that he can get it done this summer with that stipulation. If he can't, you'll go to,
Well, then, that's not in the bid package, right? That's set timeline.
No, there was never a set time.
So we would say we want it done in a month. Don't say till the end of summer because some people.
I was gonna say,
summer
what was
is
it
like
gonna-
November, December.
yeah. Well, I was just using summer as a
Right.
general, like, we could reach out to him and say, you can have, like, you've got the bid providing you can get it done by this date. If this is not possible for you, please let us know so we can make other arrangements. And then,
Can we also have it, I forget who suggested, like, it all shows up on one day, the dumpster and everything, so that we can minimize any
Trauma.
trauma.
I feel like it could be flattened and started in one day, but I don't know if all of it could be hauled away in a day. But I'm sure the initial few loads and the demo of it could probably be done in one day, I would think.
Yeah, I mean, just getting it on the ground is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how easy it's gonna be, it's like leaning.
No doubt.
Well, that was my other, concern, the safety of the movers.
Mm-hmm.
It is on town shores, so. I'll have to show them where the septic tank is.
Then we have to get
Is that get done before it's filled?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, all right, so we'll go with the chat.
which one?
Do we need to actually?
Yeah,
If I can make a motion that we accept,
Thanks, Brian.
I make a motion that we accept the bid of Chad Davis for $19,500, with the stipulation that, he has to be decided 30 days.
Is that reasonable?
what?
30 days?
Let's do like 45,
Okay, 45 days.
because that gives 2 extra weeks.
If that can't be committed to, then I.
Okay, so if,
Move to the second choice.
okay, move to second place, okay.
That was a long.
That was a long motion.
I motion that we accept the bid of Chad Davis.
Under,
Any other discussion? All in favor? All right, back to you, Elena, update on grants.
Yeah, so I don't have very many updates because, the last email that I received about, the fire department building grant, was that it moved to the next session, I guess, the next step, but we won't know anything further until late summer, they said. So what that means, I don't know. But it was from two separate, so I've heard from Senator Collins' office and Senator King's office. And so Senator King's office was the one that told me that we transferred to the next step, but we won't hear anything until later in the summer. And then Senator Collins' office was the one that told me to go back to the drawing board 100 different times when we originally submitted for a big building, and then they were like, no. And then we did public works, and then they're like, no. And then they're like, just fire department. So I've been in contact with both senator's office, but both of them are pretty much just like, it's the wait and see game right now.
So the Senator King's office, the one that we gave them was just the fire department also?
I'm assuming because that's what they went with, because when I talked to Senator Collins' office, like they were talking together, is what she made it seem like. So I'm assuming she transferred that information because Senator King's office has to work with the same rules that Senator Collins' office.
It's the same money.
It's the same money. So I'm assuming that she transferred the information to them too, because she made it seem like they were kind of doing it together.
And we haven't heard that any cuts on the federal level or that.
I haven't heard anything.
We have to check.
Right.
I missed another one.
So that's that, and then the DOT grant, we are basically just waiting for the reimbursement now because I had to submit the letter, which was basically closing that piece out.
Right.
So we're just waiting for the reimbursement process check, basically.
And then, like, what's our next step, though? Do we tell them?
So basically, what the conversation happened with Matt and I cannot remember Mike maybe.
I think it's Mike.
When they came here, we kind of gave them what we wanted to do next, but it's basically kind of coming off of their project for next year. Well, the paving project, like when they're doing all of that. So the Mike person, when he emailed me back, he said that he's going to be working with some of these planners and stuff to come up with what would be realistic for us to be able to do.
So, like, at our town meeting, we had that survey, and it looked like these crosswalks were, if we couldn't do everything, those were priority.
Right.
How do we communicate that though to Mike?
Yeah, and I can certainly reach out to him because they're going to want to know that before they pave that road.
Right.
So I can certainly reach out to him and let him know that's definitely one of the things that we would like to pursue.
In our last meeting, I think I saw in the minutes somewhere that we said we would have another town input gathering meeting at the end of the summer. Is that something we're still required to do?
No, we're not required to do any more public meetings.
Because that's why we did that survey at the town meeting.
Right.
Just
Right.
knowing that we couldn't afford it.
Right.
I don't think even another town meeting will bring anything productive. I think that force is pretty well been beaten.
No, and I think if we can get some estimates for price, and then we can decide whether it's just having DOT paint crosswalks or something more expensive.
Well, I think they have certain rules or
Right.
law or whatever about crosswalks.
Yeah, but they indicated that it was possible that as they're doing this work
right.
in town, that they can create those spaces as part of their work.
And I understood that as being like a temporary thing, like this year that do the painting.
that's kind of what I understood too. That's why I was gonna reach out to them about painting, the parking
Right.
at the same time, because if they could put a crosswalk and paint no parking over there, they'll be saving me a lot of headaches.
Yeah. Okay. Reach out. Anything else on things?
Other than, we kind of talked about the storm crossing one, so I haven't been able to, not storm crossing, stream crossing, about the Gully Bush Bridge. So I haven't looked into when the grant opens again, because Mike just brought it back up to me the other day. So, but that's gonna be one that I'm going to be exploring, and if the deadline is like shortly, I'll be sure to send you guys all the information. But if it is shortly, I'm just going to apply for it and submit it if it falls before our next meeting or whatever, just to get it out there.
Grants are like that, just keep plugging.
Right.
Keep submitting.
Is the fire department in the process of applying for any grants, or is that fizzled out?
Yes, he is. I just don't know what, like, he's talked to me about a couple of different grants in the last few months, but nothing has been like, I applied for this is what I want, those kinds of things. So he's still looking at other grants.
Have they gotten any, other than, I know they got the extractor or
Right.
whatever.
Is that CPR machine, is that a grant?
Yes. The Lucas
side-by-side?
device. They didn't get the side by side. No.
I mean, good to know.
So, and we pretty much talked about ATVs too on here. We kind
Yeah, we did. Just on the fire department, and just made me think of something, not to single Chuck out or anyway, but just an idea. Would it be helpful, because we asked the CEO for a monthly report, to have, and then it would have to be public works, so like all department heads.
In other towns,
Yeah, they do that.
in other towns, every department head comes to a select board meeting.
Yeah.
And they all give their own update, not just me. So I think it's a friggin' slim chance that we'll see Steve sitting in one of these chairs,
Yeah, I would.
which is fine because it's probably best if the update comes from me anyways. But I think Chuck should, if willing, right.
Yeah. Or even just
If he can attend a report.
a report,
Yeah.
and it doesn't have to be elaborate, just like, the call leader, we use.
Right,
the call
which
leader every
that
day.
is also my bad, because usually I make copies of that, but
Don't give him this.
I will.
And then, Steve as well, if he has any things that he thinks is important to bring to our attention for his department.
Mostly we hear about.
Okay, so
Yes.
you're you need to go ask.
No.
Yeah.
But
And let me know if you still have a public
he
works
has a
director.
helper. Did we hire somebody? Okay.
Sort of.
Sort of.
He has a helper.
I know.
Yeah, I'll enlighten you in
Okay.
a bit.
So all right. So we did ATVs. Any miscellaneous?
I have 2 tree growth penalties. That's it.
Oh, something on the ATV in the fire department, what was the ATV?
Huh?
What was the ATV kit?
Kit?
Yeah.
ATV kit.
I used
Couple
to,
tires and a bunch of metal.
I would have to get more information. I don't know exactly what the kit was. That was a grant one though, wasn't it?
Cause that sat down public works for helping us.
Oh, because we didn't know that it was
That was an
there.
accident.
Yeah.
Nobody knew it was down there, And so we had reported it missing to the company that we ordered it from.
Okay, so what is it?
What the hell was it?
Is this Arvo's Camberwell?
I think so. I don't know exactly what it was. I mean, I may have at one point, but I'm really falling asleep right now. But
It was part of the grant, I thought, though.
it was part of the grant. And they called the company, they were filing a suit with,
And it came from
UPS
Canada.
and,
What the heck was it?
I can't remember what it was. But then Reggie showed up and he said, I put that down in the garage, and nobody knew that.
So I went down there, and sure enough, it's down there with Chuck's name on it. Steve never says, hey, by the way, there's a package down in my bay for Chuck.
Because I heard every day about it.
Nope.
And then when I brought it up to Jimmy, he goes, I told you about that. I said, you told me? He goes, who are you? And I was like, Jimmy. So it could have been me, Jade, or Marty, or somebody else that he told about that package, but none of us actually in the office knew that that package was down there. So that's what happened. Like wrong people.
My head's gonna blow up right now, I swear to God.
Where's this one? McElroy.
What?
Where's McElroy?
Is it, Darlin? Where's she?
Yeah, Darlin,
Is that up on the, that's not on,
no,
The one.
it's a subdivision.
is it not Winter Hill?
Winter Hill, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought I recognized them. I think are they the ones that divided?
Somebody else.
Marty, question, you have record of when people's tree growth or, forest plan, this one
The
expired?
assessor does, yeah.
The assessor.
The
Assessor does, okay. I'm just asking because my husband dropped off our tree growth plan that our forester did, and I can't remember how many years ago, to soil and water conservation. It was sometime during the latter part of COVID, and they have since lost our plan.
Oh, we do have it.
We
Yeah.
might have a,
And I
and
worry
your,
about expiring.
and your forester would have a copy. Who is it, Molly?
No, but we're gonna go with Molly because she's doing our
She's
lawn
awesome.
operation.
Molly's a great person.
But Sam Brown,
Okay. He would probably have a copy of it too.
I told
But-
John, but
But we may also have a copy of it.
Okay, I just want to know when it expires.
Okay, so I could even probably look that up for you in the office.
Oh,
Okay. That's probably best.
thank you. Yeah, motion to adjourn? Motion to adjourn.
I don't even want to know what time it is.
9:36, all in favor?
That's actually not bad.
That works.
All right, I'm gonna go eat dinner.
Oh my gosh. Oh, snowplow. We signed it, that was meant
Yeah, don't let me lose that because you guys may be signing a new ATV contract.
Oh, really?
Okay,
for.
So the jump gate, we get you
I'll
guys
see you
done.
tomorrow.